to thank you to all of you who have decided to come and hang out with me for a little while. And to give a little brief synopsis of what I'm trying to do is one, to meet everyone that I talk to or that respond to my posts, but more importantly, just to have regular conversations without being regulated by an algorithm or anything like that telling you what you can and cannot say. And then you risk losing your page and all that stuff. And I ain't really worried about none of that because if they take it, it's fine. I'm going to keep doing what I do. But more importantly, I want to have real conversations and answer any questions that you may have. I even have some questions for you if things lag a little bit. But the rules are simple. We're adults. I really shouldn't have to tell you to mind what you do, even though I am a former school teacher. So if I do have to regulate, that will not be a problem. But more importantly, I do want you to enjoy yourself. And I want you to feel comfortable with asking your questions. There's nothing off limits. So if you want to know the inner workings of a man's mind and why men do whatever they do, now self improvement was the biggest thing that everybody responded to, and I'm here for that as well. So I really want you to take the time, enjoy yourself. We're gonna go with everybody gets two questions as we go around. That way we're not having anybody monopolize the time. I want to give everybody a chance. So right now, I think we're only expecting about 10 or 11, so it should be easy for me to pay attention to. But I would say if you forgot all those times we was during COVID, you can hit the hand raise feature or just raise your hand. I'll see it. It's not a problem. Now, if it starts to grow, of course, I got to figure out a different way. I'm also considering a new community, but I'm up in the air only because it's a matter of the management and if it's going to be something that people are going to actually use. I'm not big on wasting time. I'm not big on wasting anybody else's time. And I want folks to be able to enjoy themselves. And I want to get something that allows you to think on a deeper level to really have a conversation without feeling restricted in whatever you might be thinking. We all come from different places, and I think that's actually the joy to all of this is that we all don't come from the same place. We all don't have the same background. So once something is put on the floor, when done correctly, we should have some fun with it. Now, I've had the luxury of meeting Ellie. She came over to see me when I was in North Carolina from South Carolina. So shout out to you, love.
Hello.
And it was wonderful to meet. And she was actually a moderator when I did go live on TikTok. So we have a history. And actually, I'm so glad that she's here because Tina should be here too. She was the other moderator. They helped me and they're going to help me if we continue to grow this. So again, I want to thank everybody for being here. With that said, if you want to, I'm going to ask each person to just take a hot 30 seconds, introduce themselves and tell me why you decided to come and hang out with me tonight. Let's see, who came in first? Sherry, you came in first, so we're going to go in with you. And I've had the luxury of speaking to you, but come on and introduce yourself and tell me what you came here tonight to do. There's danger. Danger. Let me see. We have. Oh, there we go. Yes. Got her. Hello, Danger. How are you? So, Sherry, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry. I said, can someone else go first? I'll go second.
All right. Elle, come on. No, actually, Tarsha, come on. Tell me what caused you to introduce yourself and tell me why you stopped by tonight.
Oh, you got me nervous.
Don't be
Hi,
nervous. Don't be
Sasha.
nervous.
I am from New York. What more
Hey,
you need to know?
where in New York?
Queens.
We're in Queens. I'm from South Jamaica.
Oh, Far
Oh,
Rockaway.
let's go. I used to work in the 40s. I used to work in the 40s right there at the community center. My mom used to work.
Really? Oh, wow. Look at
Yeah.
that.
Grew up in Rochdale and South and right on Sumter Boulevard.
Oh, wow.
All
And I'm a letter carrier. I work in Brooklyn.
right. I'm from Brooklyn too. Used to live in Canarsie. So look at that. Shout out to you. What made you stop by? What made you want to come hang out with me tonight?
Um, with the case, the infamous case. That's where I know you from or whatever. So
Sure.
I value your opinion,
That's good.
your outlook on things and stuff like that. And this is something different for me this is just something different.
Yeah.
I really don't have anybody to really, get some real insight or, talk to about, stuff like this or whatever. So I said, let me stop by. Let me get out of
And
my way, get out of my comfort zone and, oh no, my dad is calling me, sorry.
no, it got you. No doubt. And if you want
Um,
to ask Brene and Tim questions, I will answer them. Listen, the floor is going to be open. Whatever you want
not,
to ask.
not unless it goes that way, but
No doubt. Well, I am glad that you're here. And listen, anybody back home is definitely invited because I left New York 10 years ago and I am happy that I did. I'm a retired educator, 24 years New York City Department of Education, but I did not want my daughter to start school in New York. She was 2 at the time. So I came
Mhm.
to Delaware. I retired early, but then I went back to school, got a second master's degree, and I've been doing therapy ever since. And I just felt it was time. Grew up in South Jamaica, lived in Brooklyn. My wife is from Brownsville, and we lived in
Oh,
Canarsie. And it was just time to get out of New York and come here. So welcome. I'm glad you're here. Hopefully you have fun.
thank
I get your
you.
reason to come back. Okay. Elle,
Yes.
I know a little bit about you, but introduce yourself and I know where you're from.
Yes, you do. Hi, my name is Onika, but everyone on TikTok knows me as Ellie.
Mhm.
I had an alias because I am also from Far Rockaway, Queens, New York, and I am a retired NYPD officer. So I always kept an alias when I'm online for obvious reasons. I moved down to South Carolina a little over 6 years ago, and I chose to be a part of this because one reason is because Keith, he really has been a blessing to me in my life. He's poured into my life and the lives of other people through his life. And I think this will be a safe space for mature adults to talk freely and openly and candidly, but also at the same time, being respectful with one another. We can agree to disagree. And, I think in today's world, that's lacking.
Amen. And yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And yes, I try to help as much as I can. And yes, more than anything else, this is definitely a safe space. Feel free to be you. As long as you're not being super rude to anybody else, and I'm not going to have to kick you out, but that's not what we're about. We're all adults, and I think we can be. And I appreciate you. So thank you. I'm glad to have you here as always. And I always appreciate your support. So Danger, and I know I always say this. I think I asked you before, how do I say it? So, Danger, why don't you come on, introduce yourself, and tell me how to say your name the right way, because I have an issue when I get names wrong.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, good evening, everybody. It's Danya.
Danya. Okay, there we go. Wanted to make sure I got it now.
Okay. Um, so um I'm I'm very shy, so please bear with me.
Take your time. It's
Um,
a great play.
I initially heard I think someone else mentioned the case on TikTok. I initially heard of you, Mr. Keith, from Ninja's Live, I believe.
Hmm.
And I really looked forward to you coming up on the panel because I value your input, not just on the case, but on a lot of different things, life, and you have a very welcoming demeanor
Thank you.
that I feel like allows, I can only speak for myself, that allows, I feel like allows me to truly say what I feel and not feel judged.
Hmm.
And I haven't felt like that in a long time, even with some therapists. Either they were they weren't judgmental, but that's because they didn't really pay attention to what I was saying in the first place.
Great point.
So yeah, but I think that's why I joined, because I value your input. And there's some things that I had wanted to run by you in my own life that I had been through, going through, that I kind of feel like maybe you could give me some sound advice. So
Okay. Well, I
yeah.
am glad that you're here. Yes, this is a safe space, so don't be nervous. And this is what I'm here for. As a therapist, I do try to make things calm and inviting. I'm also not like regular therapists simply because I am a former teacher, but I'm also a former whore. So let me just put that on the table right now. So when you're out these streets running these streets, you can't be out here disrespectful. You ain't gonna get close to anybody. But I am a man of God now, so after changing my life, my skills are dedicated to helping some of the same women that I used to try to sneak up on. And that's my biggest thing, is to protect now when I didn't do that before. So I know how to create a safe space because it was those spaces that I used to operate in the negative. And I think one of the biggest things that I have a problem with therapists is what you just said. People feeling like they're not being listened to or being judged when they're sitting with somebody. And I have an issue with that because I went to therapy myself. So let me just put that on the table. And that's actually what helped save my life. I started Bible study at the same time, but I went to um, therapy and I needed it because I had to figure out what was wrong with me. But then I also had to figure out how I was going to start over. And I think some therapists, they're so standoffish that the person is feeling like, do they really care? Are they really listening to me? And that creates an issue because then what's the real feedback? And people read body language. Don't get it twisted. When a person is sitting there and your body language is like you don't care, the client will never say anything. They just won't come back. And so I have an issue with that. So I'm so glad you brought that up. And yes, I will do the best I can to answer whatever questions that you have. Sherry, are you ready to jump in and introduce yourself, or you got yourself situated? So thank you again, Danja. And I'm gonna get your name right. I wrote it down this time because I wrote it down before. So thank you so much. Sherry Ann or Sherry, whichever one you like. You're still on mute, love.
Oh God, I'm so busy today. So, Keith, you happen to be I'm not launching, happen to be doing this on the day. When you said the 22nd, I was so happy because like, oh, I need to launch on the 29th. I believe in astrology and numerology, and I take that seriously. And today's the day I have to launch no matter what. I'm launching my TikTok page.
Do
So
your
that's why
thing.
I'm a little crazy at 10:30 tonight. That's when I'm doing it. Okay.
No, do your thing. And
So,
if you got to go, no problem. I'm just glad
um,
you're here. So go right ahead.
yeah, I was looking forward to it, so I don't want to miss it. But yeah, so yes, I ditto what everybody said about Keith. Keith is a good person, he's a good guy. I appreciate your honesty, Keith, about your background, because that's one of the things that I'm really trying to do right now in my own life. My TikTok page is called Authentically Sherry. So
Okay.
that means I have to be authentic and be my true self.
That's
For
true.
years, I had to be silenced because of different things. So, and traumas and all this kind of childhood stuff, So I was silenced a lot by my family and things like that. So I have to now speak up. I'm 54 years old. It's time. It's time I tell my story and allow people to, to heal with me as I heal myself.
Hmm.
So yeah, I was led to you from, TikTok as everyone else. And I really understand and appreciate how you come across. You're very welcoming. You have a lot of knowledge. I feel like your knowledge isn't fake like the doctors out there, Dr. Cheyenne of the world. Uh,
No, we're not. We're not. No, we're not throwing no shade. I'm leaving that alone. She's got enough heat, so I'm not bringing no heat to the system. But I'm not cool with how she goes at folks. But sometimes when that heat is on you, who you really are comes out. That's all I'm gonna say.
exactly. Yeah. So I am so glad to be here. I'm going to try to stay through the whole thing, but we'll see
Gotcha.
how it goes.
Appreciate you. No,
Yes.
I got you, and I appreciate you. And listen, good luck on the launch of
Mhm.
your TikTok. Remember, just stay consistent. And if you reach one person, you did your job because at least somebody's interested and it'll go from there. So don't get nervous. Just like you said, be
Mhm.
authentically yourself.
Mhm.
And I've been on social media since 1994. Let me just say that. So this is not new to me. And then
Mhm.
after COVID, this is how I made my money. I was on Zoom every day while my
Mhm.
daughter was in the other room when school shut down. But I'm glad you brought up Dr. Bryant. Um, I think the thing that I have a problem with, not so much the degree. Listen, you lie, you get caught with the lie.
Right.
But
Right.
she's doing something that my mom told me never to do.
Mhm.
Once you're caught,
Mhm.
stop lying.
Right. Exactly.
Like, and let me tell you when I knew she was lying. Had nothing to do with what she said. Here's where I knew she was lying.
Mhm.
When her book company said, we will refund anyone who wants to return a book. I'm
Yeah.
an author and I own my own
It's an
publishing company.
indicator.
The
Mhm.
minute that the book company said, we
Yeah.
will give back money, you knew she was lying. Here's why.
Yeah.
That means they can't prove what's
Mhm.
in the book.
Right.
And they don't want to be sued. So by offering instead of a retraction, which means that there's a whole lot in that book they can't prove, they just
Mhm.
said, if you want your money back, we'll give it back. Well, stop and think for a second. Book
Mhm.
companies give an advance first. Here's your
Mhm.
money. We're going to make ours back as we sell it.
Right.
So for them to offer the book back to whoever bought it, that tells you that they just don't want to be a part of this. When
Mhm.
that pressure is coming in, and now she's getting interviews, and she don't know if the interviews are Shanghai interviews where they're bringing her in to do a dirty, or they really care, whatever the situation is. You can see the pressure starting to get to her because she's then spiraling down to a not professional position.
Mm-hmm.
I watched a clip of her and Torre. What was sad is that she couldn't disconnect. And a lot of people, when they're stuck in that type of spiral, and I see it sometimes in sessions, you just don't know how to shut up because you're angry and you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna give it to him. So what she didn't realize is that by attacking him, his gender or his gender persuasion, whatever it is, by calling him soft, now you come off so much like the angry black woman that now you open up the door for people to come at you for that,
Right.
and then attack you professionally. The best thing to do is to shut your mouth and just disappear for a couple of months, which some people are scared to do. But you don't know what her money situation is, and that creates a problem as well. So
yeah,
that's all I'm going to say about her, unfortunately, because you put it out there, and now the sister that came out and said she went to school with her made it worse because the first thing that sister did was show her degree. So
she got
and for the record, hold on one second. If anybody has any doubts, I'm just saying, if anybody has any doubts, wait a minute, are you really a therapist? Wait, there's a bunch of degrees back there, citations and everything else.
I'm sorry, I can't see them, Keith. What they say? No, sir.
Look, I'm just saying, look,
Yeah, I was about to say,
you
you're going to have to zoom in.
Yeah, I got a whole lot back there. So when people say, when you have your degrees, you want to show them? Yes, you do. And believe it or not, even by the law, the IRS, when you claim that you're using a space in your house for an office, you have to show that it is an office. And if it isn't, that is a problem. Let's see, okay, Michelle is on here. So she's number 5. Okay. So that is it right there. So I feel bad for the sister. But now, enough about her. So we're going to go in order. I'm going to give everybody 2 questions. I'm going to try to answer them the best I can. And, I'm not going to put a time limit on it. I'm just going to say be respectful of everybody that's here. Ask your question. I'll try to answer them. Everybody gets 2 questions, and we'll go around a little bit. And I'll let people in as they come in, and we'll go from there. So the first in was you, Sherry. And because I know you got something, it works out. So what were your 2 questions, or 2 of the questions that you have? Hello, Michelle. I'll get to you in a second. Good to see you.
Honestly, I didn't have any questions, Keith. Like I came to be part of the, the vibe of what's going on tonight. So
you came to hang out?
Okay. Be a spectator.
Not a problem. And I got questions for y'all. So if y'all run out of questions, trust me, I got some questions. It's not a problem. So I got you. All right. So number 2 would be, let's see, Tarsha from Far Rockaway.
Same. I really didn't have any questions. I didn't know which way to go with it. Like I really didn't. Like I.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you: is Bayswater Park still as dangerous as ever?
Yeah. Well, right now it's shut down. I don't know what they're doing over there.
Listen, okay, I got you. So no problem. So y'all 2 don't have questions. So let's do this. Michelle, welcome tonight. Good to see you. Come on, off mute.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. You want to introduce yourself? Take a second to introduce yourself and tell me what made you stop by tonight.
I came by just to see, basically see what it was about. My name is Michelle, and I just basically just came to see what it was about.
Not a problem. Why I got all the shy folks tonight? You don't have to be shy. Y'all good. It's okay. Everybody's shy tonight. Listen, you're in a safe space. You're good to go. I'm glad to see you. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you're here. And so I'll get to you. You're going to be number 5, so I'll get to you. But I appreciate you coming. Okay?
Thank you.
All right, got you. And so you just got here. But like I said, this is a safe space. So don't be nervous. Don't worry about it. I am the same online as I am in public or private. So you see me, this is how I am all the time. As you can ask Ellie, I am this way when we went to Chick-fil-A. And for the record, she came with her kids to make sure, like, if I was some weirdo, her kids, they're about to rough me off. Because her son was looking at me like, yo, you touched my mommy. Even her little one was looking at me like, who's this dude, mommy? So I was like, nah, we good. So no, I appreciate you. I'm glad you're here, Michelle. So let's go to number 3, L. Any quick questions you have for me tonight, Al? Talk to me.
I really don't have any questions. I just wanted to be organic. I just wanted the conversation to flow. But I do have a question. What is the case that a couple of people have referred to. What is that?
The Brene and Tim case, where she was friends with a young lady, and basically she was dating the young lady's husband. Her name is Akira. She was dating the husband when they were in high school, and somehow the girlfriend didn't know that they were dating, and then she basically got real close to her as a friend, wheedled her way in, and basically stole the man from the marriage. And she's messy and annoying, and so
Mm,
the wife took her to court because she happens to be in a state where you could do that, and she
right.
lost. And now she owes $1.7 million for a dude who looks, he's not $1.7 million worth. I don't like to be disrespectful, but it's the truth. And she brought the wrath of all of social media on her. And at 27 years old, she
Oh,
might have
wow.
ruined her life for the rest of her life because you have a $1.7 million tab
Dead.
that
Yeah.
is running up. And right now, we're not sure if she's going to be able to get a look at it for them to review it, to even try to change it, all because she was sneaky and nasty. And then she doesn't show any remorse, and she
Mhm.
doesn't show any concern or care. And that becomes a problem. And then from that, it mushroomed into all of these people who are connected to the case, who are now making money off it. So they're involved
Mm.
in their own drama. And this has been the talk for the last couple of years on social media, especially on
Oh.
TikTok. Now it's over on
Oh,
Snap,
okay.
it's on Facebook, and I guess Instagram too. I follow from a distance simply because I just don't want to be bothered with the drama, but I do have my thoughts on it because as a therapist, I want to see what the outcome is, because they've been on national television now. So there's people that know about this that didn't know about it from the beginning. You can't show your face when it's connected to such negativity. But my biggest concern, I think that's my lovely wife. The biggest concern is, how do you put yourself in a position to be able to live now when everybody knows you and she really doesn't have any skills? And that's
Right.
going to be a problem.
Hmm.
Miss T. Belvin, I think I know you. Um, you want to introduce yourself, ma'am? I was in the middle of talking, but I've seen you before. You introduce yourself? You're on mute, and you should know better than that. Mm, mm, mm. Yes, ma'am.
I said you didn't have to stop talking. You could have continued.
It's okay. I was stunned by your beauty. Introduce yourself, love.
Hey guys, I'm
Hi.
Mrs. Keith Belvin.
Why are you talking like you in hostage, like you've been kidnapped? What are you, like, hold
Nice
up,
to
I can
meet
really
you
hear
and
you.
Oh,
congratulations.
Thank you.
No crown and sash. I just knew you was gonna put the crown and
I was
sash
not
on.
doing crown and sash.
Well, welcome aboard. What brings you by tonight to hang out with us?
I just came to support you, honey.
Thank you. And where are you from, by the way?
Brownsville, Brooklyn.
Brownsville chicks.
Okay, I'm scared. I'm in Boston. I'm scared. I got Brooklyn in the house, Virginia in the house, I got New York in the house.
My wife and I have been together for 26 years, married for 19. And she can actually walk you through all of what I was before, because I met her while I was married. Tried to be the player, it didn't work. She wasn't having it. She says she don't date married men. So 5 years later, when we ran into each other again, we started talking. I was separated, pending divorce, and then we've been together ever since. But she is the reason why you have me here now, because between God and her, she is the reason why I was able to turn my life around, because she was the one that was like, it's either the chicks out in the street or me and God, you got to get some help. And so I wound up going to therapy and Bible study, and everything turned around. So everybody who says men don't change, that is a lie, but it requires a very strong woman to be able to do that, and that's who
And
she
the
is.
right woman at that.
Yes, that's
Right.
very important, because my wife says it, and she wants to chime in, she can. It's not a matter of you and a man are good with each other. It's, are you good for
for each
each
other.
other?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you also have to be compatible, because his mess or her mess, and I don't want to misgender anybody,
Mhm.
whatever your partner's mess is, you got to be strong enough to deal with it, but not get gobbled up by it.
Right.
And
Okay.
then draw a line where you go, I'm not dealing with that. And one of the best things that my wife ever did was, I knew you were struggling, she told me, but I wasn't getting caught up in that. And then she was like, yo, at one point, I can't do this no more. So, honey, what made you hang out besides my devastatingly handsome self? What made you want to hang on to me?
Because you begged.
I, how you gonna tell these women that
Tell the
lying,
truth
man?
now. Look, we out here being transparent.
That wasn't begging. I was just speaking forcefully about my position.
Exceedingly.
Yes, exceedingly. I wouldn't call it begging. I mean,
Yeah, you begged.
You begged, sir.
yeah, I
You
begged. I ain't
begged.
gonna lie. I'm gonna tell the truth. Yes, because listen. The Holy Spirit told me as I was walking out the door, if you leave, you leaving the best thing ever happened to you. And I was like, I don't want to go. She's like, I don't want you to go, but you can't stay here like this. So wound up going to therapy. So yeah. But anyway, that's why you kept me, because I begged.
Mhm.
Wow. If I had
Okay, so
known
when
that.
y'all got back together, you were divorced.
Yes, when we got together, I was let's see, I think we got together 2000, and
Yeah.
right, we
Mm.
went through like a
Mhm.
3-year court fight. Because originally my ex was all for, we're just gonna be mutual about the divorce, and all of a sudden, once I now had somebody in my life, it switched. And then it became, I'm not helping you do nothing. I don't care, even though we had 2 sons. Now, let me just say this too. If you've never read my book, I wrote a book called From Gigolo to Jesus. It's around here somewhere. I got a book event tomorrow. Now, when I say I was a whore, I'm not no ordinary whore. Let me just say this.
Uh-oh.
I'm one of those great whores. I got 7 children with 6 different women. Is it right? No, 7 women, 6 children. Which is it? 6.
Oh Lord.
7 children, 6 women.
Look,
Yes.
we're
Now,
we're
hold
not
on,
judging.
because y'all judging me. Y'all judging me. I'm feeling a little uncomfortable. Hold on.
This
We're
has to
Yes.
be
not
comfortable
judging,
for
you're
everyone.
confused.
Yeah, it's okay. 7 children, 6 different women. But in the last 26 years, I've been with one woman, had 1 child. And part of that is because when you're running the streets and you're doing the things that I did, you make babies. And I was doing a lot of things that was disgusting. That is why to make that transition was very difficult. But that's what makes her so special, because she wasn't judging my past. She was judging my potential. But I
Mm.
still had to do the work. And that's something that I teach in my therapy sessions. It is the work that saves the relationship. It's not the words. When a person feels the relationship is falling apart, they will say anything. It is the work. And I say that to all of you. I don't care who you're dating. I don't care what they've done to you. It is the work. Who saw the movie Disappearing Acts?
And the book.
Yeah.
Read the book
And the
Yeah.
too.
book. Read the book and
Mhm.
saw the movie, right? Let me tell you, that's one of my favorite movies to use when I'm talking to women, is because when Wesley came back and said, I want my life back with what's
Zora.
Zora. He came back with the certification to show that he had did what he was supposed to do, and that he was now in a position and he had stopped drinking. So he showed change. He also showed progress. He didn't just come back and say, because he said, I know you're doing well, you don't need me, but this is what I did, and I want to now reconnect with you. If a man doesn't come back and show you that he's made changes and acknowledges what he was, but he's now changed from it, don't bother. Close the door. Hang up the phone. Because the words are just words. You need to see action. You need to see that this man is so serious. Okay, if you got to log off, come back on. I got you. And check the sound. I got you. Let me know when you come back. You need to see that this man has put in the work because he's emotional about not being with you. Some men just don't want to be lonely. So they'll say sorry to whatever. And some men just horny and lonely. So they'll say whatever just so they can try to get back in and try to hump you through the sheets to get you to change their mind. And in the middle of humping, you say, you know what we got here? No, that was baby boy. He slapped in the face and thought oral sex was going to change everything. No one paid attention to that part of the movie. He hit the woman in the face and figured, let me take her to the bedroom. What part is that? But a lot of men think that way. And that's why you don't let them in until they show you. And I use myself as an example. So, all right, who we got? Let me see. Let me see. So, we got folks hanging out. Number 5, Michelle just hanged out. Okay, Tasha, nope. And
Well,
okay,
but the
so
reason why I asked that is
sure.
because I recently tried a spin the block type of situation, and
Okay,
pending divorce,
Okay.
and it just started not to. I don't know. I don't know if it's conviction, and you know what I'm saying, me trying to get spiritually closer to God and stuff like that, and it's just like I don't think we're supposed to be doing this. Like, you're still married. Like,
Is he living there? Is he still living with her?
she doesn't live there
Oh,
anymore.
see, that's why you
She
always make
moved
sure.
out with her
Is
new dude or whatever.
uh-huh.
Um,
If
yeah,
if
so
she's on her own and y'all have the opportunity to build and you're seeing it go through the courts, that's different because the courts could be dragging it. So again, and if they're keeping you involved with each step of where they are,
he doesn't even know. He doesn't even know what he's signing. Like, it's like, well, how am I supposed to feel comfortable?
well,
Because when he first called me back, when he first called me,
mm-hmm,
um, when we got it started back or whatever,
mm-hmm,
he was saying he's going through a divorce.
okay,
But lo and behold, it was just like separation.
okay,
And then he's like, yeah, she called me talking about divorce. She was the one who wanted the divorce, so she's gonna have to be the one to pay for it. Because I'm like rebuilding my life. And I'm just like, you can't be trying to rebuild your life and then trying to be with somebody else at the same time. Like, I'm a little bit confused. Like, so
no, you're
what
not
am I gonna
confused. You know what it is. You just might not want to acknowledge it because
um,
here's my question to you:
Yeah.
how are you benefiting?
exactly. And then he also has on his that ring finger her name on his finger.
Mm, mm.
So again, when we first, he made it a point himself. Oh yeah, I got to get this removed. Months and months are going by. Okay, so what are you doing about this? Because I don't want to be prancing around with you. One, you're technically still married.
Yes.
Two, this is like a wedding ring that you're still prancing around with. I don't want to be prancing around town with you with a wedding ring still.
Have y'all been to dinner before?
What do you mean before?
Have y'all go out to dinner, right?
Well, I stopped it, but yes, we've been
Have y'all
since.
traveled
Listen,
together?
since then, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be
Uh-huh.
truthful. Since then, we've traveled, we've been to dinner. Yes, we've been in the sheets. We've done all of that.
No judgments. No
We've done
judgments.
all of
Okay.
that. And
Okay.
it's just like over time, it's like I'm not seeing any progress. You don't even really know what's going on. You're talking about you trying to rebuild your life and you're still trying to, and you want to be with me. So it's just like I wasn't feeling it. So
Nah,
the
smart move.
intimacy started to slowly drift. And of course, oh, is it somebody else? And
No,
it's just a no
back
for
to you.
me.
You already know, and you made the right moves. And the reason why I brought up that you go to dinner and have you traveled is because that should have been removed a long time ago because he got the money. Simply because you mentioned it's an issue for
That's
you.
correct.
Right.
And what has to happen with a situation like that is, and this is where I mean by the work. He's supposed to be working to impress you and take care of you. So whatever you need from him while he's closing that door should be at your terms, not his. I don't care if he's
Thank you.
redoing himself. I don't care if he's trying to find himself. If they're not together, that door is closed and everything that's going on, you should be made aware of it. If it's a court situation, you know of it. If he's broke, you should know it. Every aspect of what's going on with him should be known by you because then you're the one that has to make the decision if this is of value to you. You don't
Right.
owe him anything because he's already said I do to somebody else. But if he's trying to get
Exactly.
out of that, I understand the legal capacity, but the personal capacity should be with you. He should be so with you that you literally can tell him, go do this. And he's like, okay, where do I get the paperwork to do that? Because I want you to be happy. If he's not doing it, then what are y'all actually doing? But other than just you being a glorified side chick without him calling you that.
Mhm.
Exactly. And I'm like, I don't care what she's doing over there. I'm concerned about me.
Exactly.
I'm like, I don't want to be in a position where somebody could be like, that's my husband.
You
Mhm.
don't need it. You don't need it. And you can't feel comfortable because then after a while, like you just mentioned, there's only but so bright that flame can burn. And after a while, you start laying there thinking, what am I doing? Because he's not
Exactly.
mine. So then what am I really? And you're wasting time. And the one thing, and I'm not going to ask you how old you are, but the one thing you got to realize that over 40, over 45, and over 50,
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
thing that you cannot do is waste time because
Right.
it just doesn't make any sense.
Mhm.
And you have to be selfish at the very start of the relationship in terms of time, especially if you're giving back the same time that you're getting from that person. And if you're not getting it, then what are we doing? We're not in high
Right.
school.
Okay.
So
Exactly. Okay. So I'm
that's
not.
a consideration. So I got you. So Danja, take a deep breath because you said you had some things you wanted to ask me. Come on. I'm willing to hear what you got. Talk to me.
Hi, yes, I'm here. My question is twofold, kind
Okay.
of.
Okay.
So, I part of what attracted me to this meeting was that, you had showcased your books on TikTok, and I saw
Mhm.
how your the range with in terms of the topics and the stories that you created was so vast, and like publishing and writing was something that I've always wanted to do.
Okay.
Um, and for me, I don't have a college degree. I don't have a whole bunch of initials behind my name or in front of my name or whatever, except for Mrs. And I don't know, I mean, through a series of unfortunate events throughout my life, I guess when I had the mind and the youth to pursue writing, I didn't,
Hmm.
I guess because of the whimsy of youth and the
Hmm.
stupidity or whatever.
Hmm.
And I just wanted to know how were you able to come to be an author and have your own publishing company?
Great question. Thank you so much for asking. I started on Blog Talk years ago. Well, let me back up a second. I used to write erotic stories because it was my way of getting close to women. So I used to write very steamy stories. I was going to be the male Zane. And I found that on not on Yahoo at the time. I would post a little clip here. And one of the things that I would do, I wrote from experience. So I would take some of the experience that I have and I would write them into stories. And the running joke was which ones were real, which ones were fake. And then I would invite people to read and say, which one do you think I actually did? And start the conversation. And I was engaging. And I noticed that people were responding to what I wrote. Also, when people would write things, I would write them privately and say, can I add to that? Because I have some ideas I'd like to add to your story. Sometimes people would say yes, sometimes people would say no, and sometimes people would say yes. And then when I would add my piece and people really like that, but that wasn't feeling their piece, they get upset. So what I'm saying is I just wrote and I just wrote what I felt. My very first book in '07 was poetry when everybody said don't publish poetry because nobody buys it. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll just promote me through the poetry. And I just wrote from the heart. The degree only means that you understand what's necessary to do college educated work. It has nothing to do with it. The young lady right here, my wife, is a fantastic writer.
I think my husband froze. I can hear him in his room. What happened, honey? He asked me to take over, so his computer went down.
Oh,
But
okay.
as my husband was saying, he started off with his poetry book first, and then he shared a lot with me about his life, of course, and running the streets and being with this woman and that woman. And as he said, having at the time 6 children. And I told him he should tell his story because, honey, you guys are there?
Mhm.
Okay, I don't know what happened. Something flashed.
Someone came
But
in, another person.
I told him that he should tell his story. And that's when he wrote his book From Gigolo to Jesus, and basically telling about him as a teenager, um, what he didn't know at the time, having his first child at 14 and just running the streets. And once he wrote his book, other people came along and asked to help publish them. Now, I will tell you, I don't have a degree. I also don't have a book of my own. My husband has been trying to push me to write a book of my own for many, many years. I have contributed to other authors and their books. I've also wrote for Ebony Magazine. It's just a matter of sitting down and taking the time to write a story. I have a bunch of stories in my head, a bunch of them, but I'm busy. I work, I'm a wife, I'm a mother. My schedule is busy. I get tired. And there are times that I sit, don't make faces, honey. There are times that I sit and I will start to write and then I'll stop. And then it'll be months, sometimes years down the line, and I'll start to write again and then I stop. And I know that it's just a matter of taking the time. If you write an hour a day in order to get the story out until you have your finished product.
I've been dictating mine to ChatGPT, and it's just rolls it up into documents for me. So as I continue, it's just capturing it and creating documents. So I mean,
So that's how Keith did one of his books. He recorded everything. He sent me the transcript. I edited it. But
mhm.
for myself, I can't, I have to think about what I want to say. And then I'll find myself editing it while I'm writing it, which you cannot do as an author. You just have to write it. But I'm very critical of my work. So
But
it's
you
just,
gotta
it's
let
hard.
AI help you with that because, girl, you probably already have the book. If you done
Mm-hmm.
stopped and stopped so many times, just let AI
Hmm.
put it together for you. You probably already have a book.
Yeah.
Well, actually, she's got more than a book. She's got a few books. It's here's the thing that you got to remember. Whether you use AI, whether you record, because I have written in a bunch of different forms. I have transcribed, where I've just simply recorded for an hour, sent the transcription to somebody, but now you can use Temi, TEMI.com. So if you just sit and record, upload it to your phone or upload it to your computer, you can go to Temi, TEMI.com and just upload it for like $6 or $7. It'll transcribe it into Microsoft Word. So there's everything that you need. The problem with AI, and we had this conversation in the car, my daughter and my wife and I the other day, there's nothing wrong with it, but the bulk of the work should come from you. If you're stuck on an idea, you can go to ChatGPT and say, hey, give me something to go with this character or in the voice. And here's the key about ChatGPT, and it's very important because I use it right now in helping me do some of the things that I do. You have to make sure in the prompt, you are very clear and very original. So you actually have to tell ChatGPT, please add to this story, make the character do X, Y, and Z, stay in the voice that I am writing in. Stick to the story. Then when you get it back, read it, make sure it flows the way you want to flow, or use it as a foundation and then change up what you need. But you should be using it as a tool because I'll give you a perfect example. My wife does all the typesetting for all our books. And we've worked with over 52 authors since 2010. I'm going to get to Don. You asked me about how I got started, so I'll get back to that in a second. Over those years, my wife has typeset every book. So she's the one that sets the interior of every book. We've had no issues, and quite a few of our authors have won awards as well as myself. So the key is I sent her something and she said, Keith, this format, I can't. Did you even look at this? And she yells at me all the time about look at the work before I send it to her. So normally that would take me a couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks to get it done. I uploaded into ChatGPT and said, please restructure this in paragraph form, but do not change the story in any way. 30 seconds later, the story was redone in paragraph form. I took a look at it. I sent it to her and I said, hey, does this match what you were asking for? She said, yeah, fine. So again, using the system in a way that helps. So Danja, the thing is, as a publisher, I decided that I wanted to publish my work. So all I did was take works that I had put online, gather them up, and I decided to do something with my poetry. So I wanted my poetry to tell a story. I wanted my poetry to speak to my transition, hence the name of the book, A Man in Transition, which was my first book. And I made each chapter speak to a particular thing. And I just posted my poems in that. And then I picked 3 of the poems from the book And that's all I performed on any platform that would allow me. Anybody's show, I was on Blog Talk Radio all the time. People would hear me. So just like on TikTok, where you guys said, I saw you on TikTok and I did it with Blog Talk Radio. So people would say, hey, you want to come to my show? Yeah. And then you want to come to my event? Yeah. And then when you stand in public and I got to change the battery of my thing. When you stand in public and speak to your work, that's the key. You want to leverage your work. Be confident about your work. Be confident about your words. No one can tell the story that's in your head better than you. So I don't care what it looks like. That's what editors are for. Get it down. I don't care if it's 500, 700 pages. After my wife gets finished chopping it up, yeah, you're going to be angry like I was. So it went from like 650 to like 400. I was like, what'd you do to my book? And she was like, just trust me. I was like, and then when I look back over it, she did it right. That's the thing, is that it comes down to two things. One, don't worry about the extras. Get the book done. Then you can decide whether you want to publish it yourself or you want to send it out for traditional publishing. And that's a whole another avenue. In 2010, I decided to start my own publishing company because when I heard what people were paying other people or what people were sacrificing for their work, I had an issue with that because people were literally getting robbed out here because they didn't know. So I started my publishing company to try to help out. Now, it did cost me. 2013 was the worst year my wife and I had. We lost $13,000 because of 3 different authors who basically didn't pay me. And I called myself trying to help brothers and sisters out, and I got screwed. But I can't be mad at them because I got to be mad at myself because I placed myself in that position. Never again. If you don't give me 50% down, we're not talking. And over the years, I decided that I'm not publishing anybody else's book. I just work on my own because after a while, my life changed. We had a daughter, so it didn't make any sense to now try to do the publishing, but I still keep the company, but I just publish my own works. So what I'm saying to you is, first challenge yourself and ask yourself, do I really want to be an author? If the answer is yes, then write a little bit every day. Just a little bit every day, which I fight with my wife with on a regular. She is actually an outstanding author. She just doesn't want to sit down and commit because, yes, on my wall, actually, let me see if I can get out of here because now I can get back on. She's the one that wrote the article for Ebony Magazine because they hired me and I said, you write it. She said, but they hired you. I said, I don't care. They're going to pay us anyway. Go ahead and write it. And so she wrote it. And yeah, it turned out we didn't even know at the time it was for Ebony. The person that reached out to me just said, hey, I'm reaching out to folks to see, and do you want to write about you and your wife's relationship? Yeah. So I had my wife write it, and it turned out to be Ebony, 2012. So you don't know until you put it out there. And she's written some other stuff that was published. So she has a lineage. She just has to trust herself more. And don't let her fool you with that she don't have time. She got time. Ask her what she does in her free time. Yeah, I'm gonna blow you up because yeah, I was begging, huh? Yeah, I'm gonna get you back now. Ask her what she does. Ask her. Hold on one second. Let me turn this off. Hold on one second. Yeah.
Oh wait, but before you chop her up, I need to say this, Keith.
Ready?
I hope that you're not still having her help you with your publishing and your books, because that's the problem. She needs to be freed up so she can now do her own book. And you got to stop using her on your side. You done built your network. You know, you need to let her build hers. In all fairness.
Sounds good. Ask her, do I support her in every way and give her that opportunity to do that?
He does. I have to say he does.
And so you're still not working for him doing all his stuff on the side though, because that's taking up time.
I still I have 3 emails in my inbox of work that I have to typeset for him. So
okay, so that's what I'm talking about though. You can't keep giving her that your little whatever it is. You got to.
You know what you made you know what you made the mistake was?
You got to free up now.
No, here's the mistake that you made.
What's that?
Keith, how much time does it take to do those things?
No, I'm a woman. I know what she's dealing with. She got a wife, she got kids, she's helping her husband.
No.
Keith, I don't know about that one now.
Watch, I'm gonna show you. You don't look at me. Watch, I'm gonna show you. Watch my wife's face. You don't worry about me. Listen, I don't sugarcoat anything. Honey, do you have time to do the writing, that Sherry Ann is talking about?
I do
What do
have
you
the
do in your
time.
free time?
It's not about having the time. It's
Uh-huh.
about having the bandwidth.
Exactly
Uh-huh.
my point.
And
Thank
what do
you.
you do when you're relaxing when you could be writing?
Well, she should be relaxing when she's relaxing. Don't free
No,
up
no, no,
free
no,
up her
no, don't.
bandwidth
No, no, you gotta
so she can
listen.
do
You got
both.
you gotta listen first. What are you doing with your free time, honey?
I watch TV.
What
I
are you
play
watching?
video games.
What are you watching?
Okay.
I watch post-apocalyptic movies
And what else are you watching?
and Nollywood
And what else are you watching?
and pageants.
And
Ah,
what does that matter? It's her free time to do what she wants to do.
because it has nothing to do with me as an author to all of you. You have to commit your own time because I don't ask her to do all my stuff on a regular. It's not that. And the stuff that I ask her to do doesn't take that long and would not take away from what she does. The thing is, you cannot try to be comfortable if you're going to be an author. There's no such thing as comfort until the book is done. See, the key is if you're trying to get work done, you have to commit to a schedule. Here's why: you're telling a story, and the story is inside your head. And when you start to get into it daily, the story starts to speak to you because you get excited about what the characters are going to do. But when you're watching somebody else's work, now not only are you wasting time, you're losing part of your focus on your own story because you're watching other stuff. And she watches B-rated apocalyptic movies. She ain't even watching like the
Okay.
major what's name stuff.
That's okay, Keith. But how you process and how you do your book is different. If it's a passion for her, no one's got to tell her to go do it. Maybe it's not a passion for her. It might be a passion for you,
It's
and
not a
she's
passion for
supporting
me.
that. So if it's her passion, she'll make time for it.
Thank you. See, I ain't gotta say anything because I don't push her. I just mention it because the thing is, that's the other thing too, is you can't have somebody trying to drag you to something that you want to do. So that's what I don't do. I bring it up. I even create the templates for her and leave it and get out the way and say, whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and do it because I try to help her in ways that allow her when she's ready to do it. She has everything that she needs, but you're 100% right. And that's actually, you're saying what I say. I tell her whenever she's ready, let's go. Everything in every aspect, even that crown that she just won. How did we win that crown, Miss National Champion?
With your support. I always give you the credit. I always give you the credit with your
You
support.
didn't even want to
My
go.
husband is the reason why, after 13 years, I returned to pageantry. He's the one who drove 8, 9 hours to Ohio and paid for the hotel and paid for the photography and videography. So he does
In the
support.
middle of the night.
Hmm.
No, but
I don't doubt that he supports you.
more
Again,
importantly,
the
it was
bandwidth
she wanted
issue.
to quit and
Yeah.
she didn't want to go. And the first question I asked is this what you want? And Danja, this is for you as well. I asked her, is this what you want? Because that's the key. And Danja's the same thing for yourself. You have to, and all of you, you have to ask yourself, is this what I want? And once you understand what you want, well, then Sherry Ann, you hit on it when you said if it's your passion, but sometimes the passion wanes because you're up against the other aspects of your life. So what you have to carve out, and it not just writing, anything else that you want to do. And I don't work the weekends for anyone. And any circumstances after 3, 4 o'clock on a Friday, I don't work until I walk into my office on Monday. So if it's an emergency, my phone is set on automatic. I have 3 different settings on my business phone, and it all sends you to the crisis specialist, the hotlines, because you have to set the boundaries for yourself. And within those boundaries, you have to then go harder than everything around you because no one's going to do it for you. That's why I said to you, if you got to go, go because that's what you set for yourself. Because the minute you start to augment what you like or what you love for somebody else, you get lost. Does that help, Danja?
Yes, and I will tell you my efforts
Uh
towards
huh.
those goals. I do post on the Medium platform.
Uh huh.
But because of my shyness, I do use a pen name.
Okay. Nothing
Um,
wrong with that.
I also have been recording what I write because I've been, practicing to become a voice actor.
Okay.
So, all roads lead back to each other, if you know what I
Mhm.
mean.
Yes.
But I've been chasing this for a very long time, and it's like I said, for one reason or another, it never panned out for me. But now I kind of feel like where I'm in my life, it's time for me to start doing those things. But
Mhm.
um, the 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 mental health part, I think that's a major thing that gets in the way for me
Mhm.
because I'm extreme like I'm extremely shy. I do not leave the
Gotcha.
house. I'm diagnosed agoraphobic, so
Okay.
I do not leave the house. Like,
And thank you for
I mean,
sharing.
I pick up my kids and stuff like that. I go in the car and I maneuver the way I can maneuver.
Okay.
But if I do not leave the house, I don't do it because my nervous system really can't. I can only tolerate but so much. I have a battery, and once that battery runs out, I need to run for cover quickly.
I understand.
So if I can avoid that stress, I do it in any capacity.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I guess that's the portion that's holding me back. I put in the effort. I write every day. I record every day, for the most part. But that is the part that holds me back because and I'm a very private person too, so it's kind of hard. Like, but I'm doing this, so I'm gonna
No,
I'm
no.
gonna do
First
this.
and foremost, thank you for sharing. And thank you for even allowing us to know that about you. And what I would say to you is that right there is one of the steps that you took to help yourself by identifying that you have this in front of you. Now, what you do to manipulate it is on you, but what I would say is manipulate it small, little steps. Don't attack it big and then have to fight with yourself emotionally. What you simply do is each day try to do a little bit more than you did the day before, but have a plan. Literally say to yourself, today I'm going to go until my battery can't go anymore. And then I'm going to shut it down. I'm going to go ahead and do what I got to do and relax. And then at some point, when you get to that crossroads where it's like, okay, what I'm dealing with and what I want don't align, then if you're working with a therapist or if you're working with someone who can help you, then you want to take a small step in a direction that's going to make you feel uncomfortable. Not a big step because you don't want to be overwhelmed because then you're not going to be yourself in the environment that you're trying to get to. You manipulate the environment your way. There's no rush here unless you're putting the pressure on yourself. But don't apply pressure just for the sake of doing it. Apply it within a plan of action for yourself so each step you can see the benefit of it. You can see the reward in it. That'll keep you going. And then at some point, if it's whether taking medication, whether it's finding a writing partner or somebody who can hold you or you can hold yourself, that you take that next step to try to put it out there because Zayn wasn't known as Zayn for a while. Nobody knew who Zayn was. That was her pen name. And she was so hidden for so long that people were actually stealing her name and going to book signings that people thought was her. And what made her finally come out was her husband who said, this is growing into something. You might need to get out there and make yourself known. Here's what she was scared of. She wrote these second. Now, let me ask a question before I finish. How many of y'all read Zane's books when y'all was younger? Come on, raise your hand. Raise your
I
hand if y'all
did.
read Zane.
Gonna lie.
Good coach. Everybody say don't lie if y'all remember and if you don't know who Zane is. But anyway, she was writing some freaky stuff. So, but then her husband said, "These are your words. You need to get out there." Her fear was because people had created this menagerie about who they thought she was, but because she was of size, she thought the minute that they see me, they're going to stop reading my books because they're going to realize I'm not attractive. And it was the total opposite. People didn't care. People just wanted to read the books and they were like, when's the next book coming out? And she was able to turn that into a publishing company and start hiring other authors to come on board. And the rest is history because she wrote a ton of books and then turned them into film. So, Danja, I would just simply tell you take your time, work at your pace within what you know you're dealing with. Just try to do a little bit more each day so you can celebrate yourself and celebrate the small victories. And as for what you're dealing with mentally, that's just a matter of Follow your doctor's orders. If you're going to therapy, go to your therapist, follow your therapist's orders. Even with that, try to add a little bit more, but not if it's becoming overwhelming. It's almost like swimming. You got to get in the water at some point, but get in the water your way. If it's just toes for now, then it's just toes. If it's up to your knees for now, then it's up to your knees. You ain't got to go down the other end of the pool if you're not ready. But at some point, you do have to come into the water because as an author, you got to put your stuff out there so people can purchase it if that's where you're trying to go. But get there first, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we have Sassy, um, who came in. I was locked off, and the devil must have knew we was trying to do something tonight because I ain't never seen my system just shut off completely like that. It just said, "Nah, I ain't stop all that talking." So we have Sassy who popped in. Sassy, you want to introduce yourself and come on camera, or are you just hiding in the back listening to us?
Can you see me?
Yes, we can. Sassy, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you guys?
Good.
I am Sassy,
Uh-huh.
Sassy Gallery of Travel. I am right here in Peru.
Peru
So,
now? Oh, I was
yeah.
about to ask you where you were in the world.
I am here in Peru, and I forgot that we're an hour behind, so I apologize for being late.
No, not a problem. I'm glad you're here. And shout out to you because I always tease Sassy because she is a high-end traveler and she is actually showing the world what she does. So it's not just her business. I always stop by her page to see where she is in the world, and she allows us to see the world through her eyes, through her trips. That's a great way to promote your business by doing it. So what's on deck for you? Where's the next place that you're going to, Sassy?
Well, I've taken like a 3-month hiatus because when I'm
Okay.
in Peru, this is my peace.
Okay.
But when I leave here, I have had 2 cruises: Seattle, Quebec, Boston, the U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Lucia coming up. I have a 17-day cruise in October,
My God.
and then I'll figure out something after that.
So he gonna have to put on rollerblades to catch you, but it's okay. We talked about he gonna have to chase you to get you. Don't slow down, not one bit.
Yeah.
But thank you so much to be being here. Do you have any questions that brought you here? Or are you just hanging out?
Well, people have been telling me for eons. Even
Mhm.
I have a girlfriend who stopped speaking to me because she wanted me to get on Oprah. She's like, you need to write a book and you need to get that book done so you can get on Oprah. Well, we know how long Oprah has been off the air.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I've been told that by numerous people, even people when I travel and, they ask me like where I've been. I mean, and not just so much for my travel, but just my history.
Hmm.
And I guess I'll give you a little bit of my history. I was born in Chicago. I got hired as a Drug Enforcement Administration agent in 1985. And I was assigned to New York for 14 years, El Paso for a year, Atlanta 4 years, Peru for 5 years, and Maryland for 8 years.
Wow, nice.
So after my career in law enforcement, I wanted to travel and I wanted to bring travel to people in a different way and not, oh, my girlfriend went here and she said it was nice, because I get a lot of that. Well, that might have been good for your girlfriend, but that may not be a good place for you.
True.
And so I try to show people and I try to take them outside of their comfort zone to places and explore things that they normally would not put on their bucket list. I just came back from Vietnam. Before that, I was in India for 19 days. I've been to 45 countries and 5 continents.
Mhm.
Um, so I don't just talk about it. I go and show people what there is to do and not the Instagrammable always things, the cultural immersion. Like for instance, here in Peru, I'm starting a company that will only explore the Afro-Peruvian
Nice.
aspect of Peru, which many people don't even know that there's Afro-Peruvians here, but there's a whole culture here. The main musical instrument that they play, which is called the cajon, originated here by a Black man.
Nice.
But it's never told that he's the one that invented it. And he had 15 kids. And so his kids are trying to keep his legacy alive.
Y'all can't talk about me. He had 15 kids. My man. My man. I take my hat off to. So, Sassy, I got to ask you, and I've always wanted to ask you this in looking at your page. How do you, as a woman travel, keep yourself safe in all these places with everything that's going on in the world? Because I see you when you travel, and we can't see what's going on behind the scenes. We see what you show us. But what is that like traveling as often as you do? How do you stay focused on enjoying yourself and conducting your business, but also um, just being safe and all that? Because you're all over the world, and it's fascinating but scary at the same time.
Well, I've only been scared once. And
Okay.
that was because I asked the concierge, how do I get downtown? I think I was in Italy or Rome. I was in some part of Italy. And he said, oh, you could just catch the bus outside the hotel. So that's what I did. So when it came time for me to get back to the hotel, I said, well, I'll take the same bus back to the hotel. Well, the bus didn't go back to the hotel.
Wow.
So it let me off at some dead end street, and it was like dust. And I'm like, don't you go back to, and he was like, no. So he's speaking Italian, I'm speaking Spanish, and we kind of understanding each other. And he basically said, you have to get off the bus here. And so I said, well, which way is the train station? And he just pointed. So I started walking that way. And luckily, I ran into a couple riding their bikes. And I said, do you know where the train station is? And they were like, you're far from the train station. Luck or God had it. They rode their bikes while I walked 3 miles to get to the train station.
They'd had to rob me. My knees ain't got 3 miles, and I'm just guess go ahead and rob me now. I'm gonna go ahead and just here. I'm gonna hold my wallet up, so they ain't gotta
But
beat me. Just take it.
despite and I can't attest to everybody's level of comfort, but despite what everybody hears in the news and all of this, there is danger, but it's kind of common sense kind of things.
Okay.
I've been all over the world, some guided, some by myself. And you just kind of do the common sense things like, check your environment, that kind of thing. Maybe my background helps, because I'm more attuned to people when I'm out and about, watching hands, watching, features and, the way they look at you and things like that. And I was just having a conversation with my girlfriend here when I was telling her that I really like Peru because no one gives me a second look. They'll look, and then, even with my hair like this, which is kind of messed up, but no one gives you a second look. I've been to countries where they stare at you, they try to take pictures, they follow you because they just don't know. But for the most part, people are relatively genuinely nice. I will say that in the last year, I've noticed a difference.
Okay.
And I think that's because of what's happening in the US.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
As a matter of fact, I live here part-time, which, I travel 6 months and I'm here 6 months. And it's never been a problem. I come and go, stay for a month, stay for 2 months. Well, this year when I came in, the guy told me, he said, you can only stay here 90 days. Well, as you can see, this is my apartment. This is not like an Airbnb. And so and the way he said it made me think that it had to do something with me being from the US and having a US passport, because that's never been the case. So a part of the reason I was late too is I was going to immigrations to find out, how to get residency. And, one guy said, oh no, you can stay 183 days. And the other guy said, no, you can't. You have an American passport. You're only allowed 90 days.
I'm not shocked.
Yeah. So,
I'm not shocked.
I have noticed that, countries are getting to the point they kind of shun Americans now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a friend in
And
Italy who shares that.
yeah, and it's real.
Mhm.
It's not like, what are they really? Yeah, it's kind of like in your face now that we're persona non grata, I guess that's what the
Hmm.
word
Yeah.
is.
100%.
Um, so
And most people don't hear it because they don't get to hear news or information outside of the vacuum that's here in the States. And that's what my friend in Italy's like. He's like, if you and your wife and daughter ever have an issue, you can come stay with us here in Italy, just because he asked me all the time, like, how are you maneuvering with everything that's going on in the States? And a lot of people who travel, they're noticing that countries are pushing back in the best way that they can, or in any way that they can. Even Mexico is doing the same thing when you travel. Mexicans are like, nah, we're just not going to allow you to push us around at the top. So we're going to push at the bottom. And something I learned a long time ago when I was in school is you have to make sure you're getting information or news from other sources that are not connected to American entities. And I'm a big Malcolm X fan, and I have a X tattoo on my left side, and he was my virtual mentor. He would always talk about pick up foreign newspapers. Well, now because of social media, you don't have to do that. You have to go to foreign outlets to be able to listen and pay attention to what other countries are saying. And what you will find is that the lies that are being shared back and forth on both sides. So it doesn't make a difference whether you're Democrat, Republican, it doesn't matter. They're all connected to the same situation. And you need to pay attention to that, because you also have to keep that in mind if you're traveling. You want to make sure you're traveling somewhere, one, that they're going to let you go, two, that you can get back home, and three, you need to know where the consulate is. Now, I can put this out here. I have an associate's degree in travel and tourism, and I have traveled quite a few places when I was out running the streets, and Americans are so aggravating to others in other countries that they didn't say nothing because the tourism was a major dollar. Well, because of the wreck of COVID and because of the way our government is acting right now, tourism is being hurt by a lot of places. And to recover, no one's going to grovel. And they're tired of groveling because we have an idiot at the top spot who's insulting to everybody, but that affects us when we travel. The only blessing is that with this skin color, they know that we're not the ones doing a lot of it. So they they tend to give us a break.
and that's pretty true. Like, a lot of people don't know that European countries are now figuring out another way to utilize, like, well, like how we would go to the country and use our visa and stuff.
Hmm.
They're now creating their own network so that they don't have to go through the US
Yeah.
anymore. And
Yeah.
that's going to come out in probably another year or two, maybe.
Hmm.
And people don't even realize that. When I first got here 4 years ago, the dollar was worth like 3.90. It's now
Hmm.
worth like 3.40.
Wow.
So people aren't, even when I went to Morocco last year, there was a couple from Canada, and they said they always went to the US. That was their, they went
Hmm.
there and stay. They was like, we don't want any parts of the US. They said,
Hmm.
we'll do Morocco. And I think they were going to Portugal after that. They said, we have no desire to go to the US. And it's not just, it's tourism in in total, except
Yeah.
for those countries. I mean, the countries that really their whole economy is kind of tourism. But
Hmm.
everywhere I go, even though I speak Spanish, people are like, "Where are you from?" And they know I'm not from here. And I'm like, "No, I live here." And they're like, "Oh, but where are you
Gotcha.
from?" I'm like, "I live here." And they be
Hmm.
like, I'm like, "I'm American." "Oh, you're American." Their whole conversation changes.
Changes.
It's
Yeah.
like, oh, and the majority of the people want to know, how did y'all elect this person?
Yeah. That says something about us too, and they don't realize
It
how
wasn't elected.
it affects. All right, let me ask
He
y'all this
stole
question.
it.
Yeah, basically. Let me ask you this question, because y'all had, when you responded to the questionnaire, self-improvement was one of the areas that everybody wanted to have a conversation. So I want to ask everybody this question, and you can raise your hand. I'll figure out an order But if you could instantly improve one area of your life tomorrow, instantly, what area would that be and why? Hey, princess.
I would say focus for me
Focus. Why?
because I'm just kind of, I have all these things in my head that I want to do, that I want to create, that I want to
Mhm.
present to people. And so I might start a project here and then I'll get taken away and then I'm over here and then I'm over there. And then I have to like ring myself back in and say, you need to focus on
Hmm.
getting that thing done. And so I've tried to be a little more deliberate in the morning,
Hmm.
by not looking at my phone, not
Hmm.
looking at emails. But that's such a hard habit to break when you have a business.
Yes, without question. Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. Have you read it?
A long time ago. I probably
Go,
need to
no, no, go
reread
go
it.
back to it because the seven habits would actually help you with what you just mentioned. Also, the other book I would suggest, Atomic Habits. Motion over action. I mean, action over motion. We can put a lot of things in motion, but we actually have to do something so we can get some type of feedback. But the reason why I mentioned the seven habits of highly effective people is because one of them is think with the end in mind, and then of course get started, but you have to complete the task. So I would definitely suggest that for you, Sassy, and that would help you with focus. Miss Ellie, for you, what would it be while you sitting and watching? What would it be for you that you would change in your life tomorrow, and why?
I don't even know where to begin. um, I think if I were to have more self confidence, the
Hmm.
other areas of my life which need improving would improve.
Okay.
I think it would be a trickle down effect. Like if I were to just believe in myself more and be more positive
Okay.
and be more intentional, I think
Uh-huh.
that all the other areas in my life which could stand some degree of improvement
Okay.
would would be better for me.
Okay. And you were recently married, correct?
Yes,
When did you get
yes.
married?
My wedding date was May 3rd, 2025,
Of course.
5325.
So now let me ask you a question. When you were
Hmm.
coming down that aisle,
Hmm.
how confident were you?
I was very confident.
Why?
Because I knew I wanted to marry my husband when I met him.
Come on.
I knew that we were going to be a force.
Come
I
on.
knew that our family was going to be a cohesive unit under
Come on.
one roof, and I knew we were unstoppable.
Come on. And the reason why I brought that up is yes, I knew. And Sassy, if you could put your travel information in the group for everybody so they can have it and be able to follow you on TikTok as well. Just put that in the chat for some folks there so they can see it. The reason why I brought that up is sometimes to find the self confidence that we're missing, we have to remind ourselves of a time when we were ultimately confident.
Mm,
You're former law enforcement, so you know what it was like to put on a uniform. You know what it was like to go out here and do some things and put your life at risk. So there were things that you had to check, even if you did not want to check it.
right.
And sometimes mentally, what we have to do is go back in our thoughts, in our past, grab the things that made you strong, squeeze it like an orange and use it for now. And for you, I brought up the wedding because not too many people walk down that aisle in tears going, I can't believe I'm doing this. I don't want to do this. No, most people go down that aisle feeling exactly the way you felt.
Right.
And so
And
here's the thing, if you can feel like that in the moment, you can feel like that about other things. You just have to grab what made you feel that way and then turn it into a daily event.
And that's a good tactic because
Hmm.
it would have never occurred to me to do that. And
Hmm.
as far as my career in law enforcement, people, they can't believe that when I tell them why I don't feel that self confident, but I felt that I played a role for 20 years.
Hmm.
I knew, not that I got special powers or anything like
Uh-huh.
that, but I didn't feel like a superhero or anything like that. I knew I was not invincible, but I knew I had a job to do, and I was going to do it to the best of my ability. And I made a commitment to myself. I'm coming home that night. Like
Man,
whatever
man,
went down during the
man.
day, during that tour, I'm coming home.
Amen.
So
But
that's
you
that's
were a
the end of the
superhero.
story. So
You
I
were a
have to,
superhero.
not at all, not at
Oh, no,
all.
no, wait. I'll explain to you. I work with the ATF, right? They
Hmm.
invited me to come in during COVID after the George Floyd situation. I had a government contract. And the reason why they went with an outside person, they wanted somebody not connected with the government because they wanted the agents to speak freely. So agents were worried about if they spoke to the in-house person, it's going to get back
Right.
into their files. So they're like, nah. So they invited me in. One of the concerns that a lot of the female officers would discuss is that I noticed that they would speak down about themselves, or it was always just trying to get through. So one of the things I would always bring up is every time you made it home, and every year that you put in, no matter how many years you spent doing it, you were a superhero because you did exactly what you were supposed to do, the job, and then you got home. Now, what happens once you got home? That's where we can work. That's where therapy comes in, whatever it is. But the skills that you used on the job while wearing the uniform are actually the same skills that you could now use, but you just have to focus it on whatever it is that you want for you. Your history proves that you can do it. You just have to switch it and say, well, if I can put this uniform and go out here and risk my life, I damn sure go out here and do something for my business or for myself, and then attach it to the wedding and say, well, my husband and I, we a team. We got me. Listen, I used to risk my life. Now I get to come home and jump into his arms. I'm good. The
Yeah, I have to
feelings.
learn to reconcile that. I really do.
No, but it's important because so as a person thinketh, that's what they are. So
True.
you have to, your confidence and your happiness and your joy comes from inside first. Your husband's not making you happy. He's extending the happiness that you showed him you needed. See, he doesn't make you happy. You tell him what you need to be happy, and he does that. The
Mhm.
happiness starts internally. When you
Yes.
say, I like seafood, he go get seafood. You're happy. Or you like a hamburger, he go get the hamburger. You're happy. He didn't put that initially in you. You showed him what you need. And what happens to a lot of people is they forget how powerful they really are.
Mhm.
You are a superhero. You are a woman of color. You and Sassy were women of color who put on a uniform. So you had people of color hating you. You had people that didn't look like you hating you. You had the
Mhm.
criminals out there hating you. And it was
And
like,
the cops hating me
and the cops
too.
hating you. So what are we going to do? How are we going to make it? Now, I don't know. Sassy been going on a whole lot of trips, so she might have really worked that uniform to the nth degree. So I'm not mad at her. I'm just saying, I'm not saying nothing.
Well,
I'm just
actually,
saying.
I did wear a uniform. I was a DEA agent, so
I
I did
know, but
wear
you
a
traveling a lot. You might have kept some. I ain't mad if you did. I'm just, I'm just saying, we turned in a portion. I mean, so no, I got you, Tarsha. Because I'm gonna come to Sherry Ann left because I know Sherry Ann has to jump off. Tarsha, what things would you improve? What one thing would you improve and why?
Consistency. To
Woo!
piggyback off what Sassy
Uh-huh.
was saying
Uh-huh.
about being consistent. Like you have
Okay.
one idea, you pick up one thing, and then you don't give it a chance, and you put it down. And that's
Okay.
and with ventures, it could be with anything. It could be with skincare regimens. Like it's I start something and I'm not consistent. I put it down. I go to the next thing. So
Okay.
yeah, consistency.
No,
Because you
I
know that
got you.
saying, how what they say, how you do one thing is how you do all things.
Oh
True,
wow.
So
but no,
Okay.
that's true, but that's actually the secret. I'm gonna tell you why. So think of it this way: if I make the change to the one thing, then it affects everything
hmm
else. The key
hmm
is say to yourself, finish. Forget the word consistency because it starts to become a gigantic mountain when you say it. I got to be consistent. All of a sudden, the mountain grows. No,
right.
simply say to
So,
yourself, finish. Finish. I don't care if you're eating your cereal, finish. And I don't know if you have children, so I'm not going to ask, but when they're eating, what do you tell them? Finish. I don't want to eat, finish. I don't want to eat, finish. And the reason why is because we're not going to waste this food or we're not going to do whatever. We have to tell ourselves the same thing. If you started it for a reason. If you liked it for a reason. Finish, because here's why. In the finishing, that's where the learning really begins. Because once you get it done, you can go, I ain't never doing that again. That was horrible. Or I didn't know I could do that. I might have to do that again. And in finishing, you now create a new pathway of understanding yourself. If you ever want to see what that looks like, try to tune in when a marathon is going on, but watch the way people finish. You can see the elation and the pain all at the same time. Because in their mind, I'm happy this is over. But then at the same time, they're like, damn, I can't believe I just ran 13 and a half
Right.
miles. And it's like, and I read Oprah's book years ago when she had first started losing weight the righteous way. Her trainer was talking about them running a marathon. So they were talking about the same situation from two different points. Her trainer turned around and said, when I look back at Oprah as we were finishing this marathon, I started thinking back when we were in Italy and she was struggling, back when I first walked into her office and she was 238 pounds. And I could see her reflecting in it as she was finishing. She had all this emotion as she was running this marathon. And she said it was so great to see. Then when you hear Oprah actually telling the story herself, she said, as I was finishing, I was thinking of when I couldn't sit at the award show because I couldn't close my legs because the dress wasn't fitting, or how I was eating nervously, or when we had this pasta in Italy and I couldn't finish running because she was finishing. She was doing something she never thought she could do. And that is what allowed her to go on the yo-yo, which she has been on, but she keeps getting smaller, it gets bigger, gets smaller, because once you finish, you now have muscle memory. You now have DNA. You have something in your mind that goes, well, I know at least one time I was able to drop 150 pounds, 200 pounds. You can do it. Now it just simply comes down to, what are you saying to yourself? What is your inner voice saying to you? But if I have no history, if I have no memory, well, not only am I lying to myself, I'm guessing. And anytime you leave it to guesswork, consistency can't be there. You can't guess and be consistent at the same time. It's not going to work. There's nothing to attach it to. But once you finish, oh yeah. Now, we're adults. And ladies, I'm going to say this. If the love tickle is whack, if the man has no game, and he look over at you and smile and go, how you feeling? You got a choice. Do I hurt his feelings? Or do I wait till he leave and be like, I ain't calling him back? Why? Because when he finished, it wasn't working. So think of that. You don't have a problem with going, oh, his number got to go out my phone. Why? You ain't calling back for mediocre peen. Let's just call it what it is. And the reason why is because you already know, I ain't signed up for this.
Mm-hmm.
Because the finish told you everything you needed. Well, life is that same way. If the finish is strong, you can connect your emotions to it, and that becomes the drive. Motivation is connected to passion. So it goes back to what Sherry Ann said. I'm coming to you in a second, Sherry Ann. Your passion is driven by your understanding of something that you have done or want to do. But once you get involved with it, once you're in it and you can see that finish line, oh, it'll draw, the goal will draw you to it. It'll drag you to it. That's why graduations are so exciting this time of the year. It's not just for the graduate, it's for the parents. And the reason why parents cry so hard is like, I remember when this look didn't even want to go to school. And now look. So you got this. You just commit to it. Not consistency. That's the C. Commit.
Mm.
Commit to it until it's done. Even if you do it 100% wrong, commit to it.
Okay.
Then go
That's
from
a
there. All right.
word.
Gotcha.
That's a word.
Thank you. Sherry Ann, who's about to launch her TikTok tonight, gonna have 19 million followers after 1 hour that we calling that right now. Talk to me, Sherry Ann. What one thing
Yeah,
would you change?
absolutely.
What would you change tonight and why?
I'm an overthinker, as you can see.
Woo!
I wear it proudly as a banner, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
How do you
That's it.
how do you fix that? I know how, but I want to hear how you fix it.
Um,
Because you actually still singing the praise. You actually got a T-shirt on. I don't know if I wear that, but go ahead, talk to me.
I said, let me overthink this. I have to stop myself. I mean, after I've overthink, I have to stop and then I don't know,
Just
break
do.
it down and do one at a time.
Just do. Just
Yeah.
do.
Well, that's why I said just do one
Just
at
do.
a time. Yeah.
Just do. I'm gonna tell you why. You never stop thinking. You see
Mhm.
the young lady there with the lovely goldest the one there in that shirt that carries my name right there.
Mhm.
She doesn't stop thinking.
Mhm.
And if you do a personality assessment, it's called being a turtle. Your turtle keeps thinking, but you're wired to overthink. You actually, that's why you're celebrating it. There's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, I have to stop the turtle to feed the aggressive part of my personality, which is your lion. If a lion doesn't hunt, it doesn't eat. It'll
Mm-hmm.
starve to death. So you can overthink all you want. That's motion. My question would be to you, and my challenge would be to you, what's the action? You said to me tonight, Keith, I may not be able to stay because I said I'm going to launch this TikTok and I'm going to do it. That's action. You set boundaries, you were firm, you were direct, you're ready to go. You said you're about numbers, you gave your reasoning, boom. So the first thing I said was, if you need to, do that. Because again, if a person's going to show me that they're serious about it, I want to support them to do that. I'm not that important compared to what you said you want for yourself. So the key to overthinking is hit the brakes and say, but what did I do? That'll stop you from overthinking. What did I do? And if I did nothing, stop right there. Nothing else to think about. Spank yourself and get right back at it. Because if you do nothing, then all you did was get on the treadmill and just run. And you're on the hamster wheel going, oh, I'm going to be the greatest ever. And you never did nothing. So you have the talents because you came in and told all of us, this is my boundary. This is what I'm going to do. Apply that to everything else that you want to do. And you and I have talked. So you've already talked about what you want for yourself at this stage of your life, which is cool. So what do we talk about? You set the rules. Rules got to follow simply because they're your rules.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get close to you if it don't match what you want.
Right.
Bottom line. And that's important because for all of you, you have to say to yourself, what is it that you want? Okay, how you gonna get it? No one's gonna give it to you until you get there. Have you noticed that?
Mm-hmm.
The minute you get there, people pop up and go, girl, I knew you was gonna get it. Yo, how can I help you? You're like, where was you at when I was sweating? Because
Mm-hmm.
people don't take you serious until you take you serious.
Mm-hmm.
It's super important because we live in that type of world. And let's be real, you're women of color. So they expect you to be angry. They expect you to be subservient. And when you're not subservient, then they call you angry. Then when you're angry, they don't ask you why you angry. And it's a circle that just, at what point is it, how can I help you? That's what I was saying to him. He was like, I don't push what I do onto my wife simply because the first thing I look for is balance. Because if I put too much on her, well, one, it hurts me because I got to deal with her when she starts to break down because of why would I do that to her? So let me support her. And then I celebrate when she wins. I was super excited to see her win because I know where she went to get there to this pageant. I don't mind the 7, 8, 9 hour drive. That doesn't bother me, but I knew we were going to Ohio with the chance. And I told her before she got there, you're going to win because I could see the way things were lining up to try to prevent her from going.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, just we had all type of foolishness happening. It looked like she wasn't going to get there. I said, what is going on here? That every couple of minutes, something is, it's almost like somebody's going to dive out in front of her as we was getting ready to get in the car. Like, don't go.
Mm-hmm.
Only to get there and realize she had already won. You tell the story, babe.
Well, basically, we had 6 people enter the pageant from different divisions. And I actually told the director, because I had produced a pageant in the past, I said, don't worry about the numbers. I said, let it be what it be. You still put on your show. And that's basically what she did. And our first night there during orientation, she said to us, there are 6 of you here, and there are 6 crowns that I have to give out. So we all received a crown.
All
By
right.
showing up.
All right.
Nobody
And the
knew.
funny thing, like my husband said, about maybe I would say a month and a half ago, I was questioning whether I was even going to go. And then I woke up one day and I couldn't walk.
Yeah.
The arthritis in my knee, I couldn't put any pressure on my knee. And I'm thinking, this was 2 weeks ago that I
Mhm.
could not put any pressure on my knee. And I'm thinking, I'm not going to be able to do this because I can't walk. And I went to the orthopedic. He injected my knee and I was fine. But then one of the outfits that I purchased to wear for one of the segments didn't fit. So it was so much going on. It was one
Yeah.
thing after another, and I just was like, And we laughed about it. We
Yeah.
said, what is going on? Something just does not want me to go to Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
And when I hurt my knee, the director called me and she said, Tiffany, you must come to Ohio. And that was the reason why, because she knew I had already paid the entry fee, and I'm not going to discuss how much that costs, along with everything else that I had
My
purchased
OnlyFans is paying off. So don't worry, I got you.
that I had purchased in order to prepare for. I've been
Uh-huh.
preparing for this pageant for a year.
Mhm.
So now to not be able to walk, she called me and said, "You have to come." And I said, I'm going to be there."
Mm-hmm.
And look what happened.
And that's it. See it through. Finish, because you don't know what's going to be there for you, and you don't know what an outcome is going to be until it happens. Now, you're sitting in front of a person who had a $773,000 contract with the United States government as a single individual, sitting right here where I'm sitting right now, wearing Crocs, working with ATF agents because they needed an outside therapist. And I didn't even think it was something possible, but a sister that I did an interview with on her blog on Instagram had said, I would love for you to talk to the higher ups at the ATF. I said, okay, no problem. Hey, listen, you give me a mic, I'm gonna do what I do. So they were impressed and said, we're thinking about this program. They had wrote the program for me. Here's the problem. I had never filed for a government contract in my life. I'm up studying, I'm trying to figure it out. I think I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm very nervous because one, I didn't know how much money was. I'm just gonna tell that up front. I didn't know. So I started reaching out to people who I figured knew what they was talking about. They gave me the information, but it's one thing for somebody to tell you what to do, study what you need to do, to actually doing it. I was super frustrated that the night before the contract, the paperwork was due. I had just threw my hands up and said, "The hell with this! I can't do this. I can't." And then I happened to look at the sister's email, the procurement person, and I saw in her email she said it was a Bible verse, and I said, "You know what? And this is the New Yorker in me." I wrote her the next morning. I wrote her that night. I said, "Woman of God, I'm struggling. I don't know what to do. I just need some help." She wrote me back that night. So I'm like, we were up checking emails late at night. It was like 8, 9 o'clock. She wrote me back at night and said, "Man of God, call me first thing in the morning." Of course I'm gonna call you first thing in the morning. We're in the midst of COVID. Where am I going? So I called in the morning. She said, "Man of God, what's wrong?" I said, "Sister, I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know if I'm doing this right. The deadline is today. I'm all over the place." She said, "Let's do this. I'm gonna push the deadline back one more day. Would that help you?" I said, "Of course it would." She said, "What else you need?" I said, "So this is where a closed mouth doesn't get fed. So please remember this. I don't know if I'm doing this right." Now, she's the procurement person. She's the person that secures the contract. She doesn't have to help me. I don't even know if it's legal. She said, "Send it to me." I said, "Okay." I sent it to her. And then she called me back and said, "Man, God, what you worried about?" I said, "What?" She said, "Everything is right. You good. You just didn't put in the money that you want to charge the government." I said, "Okay. How much do I charge the government?" I was going to ask her that. So I called a friend in Texas. I was like, "Brother, what do I charge the government?" So he was like, "What you trying to charge?" Now, this is where being stupid can hurt you. I was going to ask for $2,000 or $3,000, maybe for a month. When I showed him that, it was almost like the hand came through and he was about to slap me. He said, "Man, are you stupid? This is the United States government. Do you understand their pockets have no bottom?" And I was like, "So what do I do?" And he wrote me some numbers. He said, "Ask them for this." "Man, they're not giving me $12,000 a month. You done lost your mind." He said, "Bro, just ask them and let them tell you no." Took a deep breath. I filled out the paperwork. I put it down, itemized it. And I sat here like this. I can't hit send. They not gonna give me 12. I'm sitting here in Crocs. They not gonna give me $12,000. Then I thought about it. What I got to lose? I hit send. Well, later on that afternoon, sister called me back. She said, "Man of God, we got a little problem." I was like, "See, I knew I shouldn't have hit send. I should have asked them for $2,000 or $3,000. This is crazy." She said, "Man of God, you didn't put what you wanted for year 2, 3, 4, 5." I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "You didn't put the other years." I was like, "Do I ask them for more money?" She said, "Well, normally it's a 5 or 10% raise each year." I was like, "Oh, yeah, no, I'll send that over right now." And I did that. And sure enough, I got the email from her saying, "Congratulations, you won the contract." And so for a year and a half of that $773,000, and I show people the actual information is online. So I had $750,000 given to me as an individual. I worked for a year and a half. I made 134 of that 770, but then there was some problems internally with the ATF. So the person got in trouble or something. So they were ending all outside programs. But they all wrote me and said, Mr. Keith, we love what you do, but we don't know how to keep you, because if we keep you, the other programs can complain that we're showing favoritism, whatever. So I was so angry about what I was losing. I never thanked the Lord for what he allowed me to hold on to. For a year and a half in the middle of COVID, I'm making $10,000 to $12,000 a month sitting right here doing what I'm doing right now. One presentation a month and a bunch of agents that I'm seeing for therapeutic services at $250 an hour, hanging out and talking to them, and 7 or 8, that whatever it was for the presentation. But here's what it taught me. It goes back to what I was telling Tarsha. Now that I know I did it, one, have muscle memory. Two, my confidence is through the roof, which it already was. Listen, I'm an arrogant dude, confident. You call me whatever. I don't care what you call me. And the reason why is because I wasn't scared to ask, can you help me? That's the other thing I want you all to understand. A closed mouth doesn't get fed. When somebody says, how can I help you? Stop reducing yourself to trying to get the least amount of help as possible. I'd take $1 million if you have it, but what do you have to offer me to help? I can't give you $1 million. I can give you 10,000. I'll take 10,000. Ask for what you, God said, you have not, for you ask not. And most of us are so scared to ask because we don't trust ourselves. I want all of you, before this call is over, Sharita, I'm gonna get you. Welcome. I'm glad you're here, love. I want all of you to take one thing with you if you don't take nothing else with you tonight. Understand that you have powers that are connected directly to God, that he gave you. All of us do. Now, if you don't know how to unleash them, that's a different conversation. I have a book that I can give you. Just reach out, I'll tell you. It's by Pastor Max Lucado, Cure for the Common Life. He actually teaches you how to unlock your godly abilities. And then when you serve other people with those godly abilities, God will bless you because of that. I'm proof of it. But I want you to leave here understanding one thing. You have abilities. You have superpowers. You have things inside you will not only feed you, it'll feed others on levels that you didn't even think was possible. But God is not going to allow you to use the power he gave you if you're sitting here nervous. Remember, he said, I got to trust you with the little things before I give you the big things. Well, I just had this conversation earlier today, and before I introduce Sharita, I want to ask y'all this. What's a little thing to God? A little thing to God would be a major thing to all of us. So he's literally saying, I got to trust you with whatever I give you, because it's going to be a big thing regardless. We panic sometimes just trying to tell somebody what we do or what we selling. I got to go sign. I got a book signing tomorrow. Everybody come to that table getting the book, whether they know it or not. Mm-hmm. Now, I ain't going to force the book in their hand, criminal way, but I am going to shake some hands. I'm going to have the book ready. I'm going to ask them what they read. I'm going to smile. My wife's going to have on her crown and sash. Somebody buying a book tomorrow. I'm going to sell at least one book tomorrow. Sharita, sister, how we doing? Glad you jumped in here before we got off. How we doing tonight?
I am great. I'm on a different time zone, so it's like I got home and I was like, oh my God, let me see if I can jump on real quick before he goes away.
I got you. Introduce yourself, love. Tell us a little bit about you, and I am glad you're here. Got to go, Sherry Ann.
I wanted to just say something real quick. I'm sorry, before you take her on.
Sure.
So I am going to pop off. Just wanted to say, I hope I didn't pop off earlier too much at you. I wasn't trying to. Okay.
Do I look like a dude that offends easily?
Right. No, I just want you to understand that I know you support your wife and you're there for her. And, we all need some pushing and nudging on the back end. That's totally fine. But bandwidth is Coming from a mom.
Anime's all right. She all right. We
Mm-hmm.
gonna talk after we get off this call, right, Anime?
I'm just saying, bandwidth is real. That's really where we as women push ourselves
No,
too far.
it's okay because you're speaking from your experience, and that's okay because here's the funny thing. You notice she hadn't stopped smiling?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. So no, the idea is that I have no problem with that because it keeps me accountable. And only a weak man would find himself nervous or offended by somebody trying to support his wife to the positive. You weren't being disrespectful to me, you were trying to uplift my wife. If I take that as a negative, that says something about me as a man. So no, I don't have no problem with it. And I appreciate you actually saying it. See, what you don't know is that she got time. She's sitting there watching these stupid zombie movies. And I'm just saying, how many times you gonna see somebody get bit in the face and the neck and the booty when you could be writing? I'm just saying. So
It's okay. What you do on your free time belongs to you. That's why they call it free time.
Hold
So
up,
you do
Tiff.
you.
Make sure you reach out to Sherry Ann when you write your book. Be like, all right, sister, son, you should be buying book number one.
And I know she will support.
I will be
There
here.
you
Don't worry
go.
about it.
So Sherry Ann, I appreciate you. And good luck tonight, love. Good
All
luck
right.
tonight.
Thank you guys. Have a
Gotcha.
good night.
Sharitha, talk to me. Give me a little bit. Introduce yourself, love. And I'm glad you made it here. Talk to me.
I'm glad I made it too. I said to myself I wouldn't miss it for the world, and I'm here at the tail end, and here I am. I'm Sharitha Thomas. Um, I when that question always tell me about yourself. It's like, what is it that you want to know?
No, what do you want to share with us?
Yeah,
We'll know
I
what you tell
am.
us.
I'm Sharitha Thomas. I am a mother of three adult sons. I am a
Oh,
widow. I've been a widow for 10 years.
okay.
And I am just finding my way, my path as a single woman.
Woo, tough out in these streets now when you're going back out there to date now.
Yeah, yeah. It's tough out there.
Tough out these streets.
It's tough out there. And I am unapologetically
Come on.
me.
Come on. There you go.
Unapologetically.
Come on.
Whatever you get, that's what you get.
Come
And if
on.
you don't like it, you can move on.
Come
And
on.
that's where I am.
Excellent. And how do you, because you and I have spoken before. So
Mhm.
again, I'm glad that you're here. How do you manage being able to switch to a point of looking? When did you know it was okay to go back out there and see if I can connect with someone when you're dealing with what you had to deal with?
I did not know it was okay
Okay.
until my sister came to me and said, "Have you ever thought about dating?"
Mm,
I was still in my fog,
mm-hmm.
in the fog mode.
Mm-hmm.
And she said that sparked something.
Okay.
And when she asked me that let me know that it was okay,
Mm-hmm.
almost like, because it was like 2 years in.
Mm-hmm.
It was 2 years after my husband had passed away. Never thought about it, never even entertained the thought, because of
Okay. Of
course there were other things in my mind,
course.
And when she mentioned it, it was like it sparked something.
Mm-hmm.
And she encouraged me to just try the dating apps.
Mm.
She
What's
said,
been the
"What can
biggest
it
struggle?
hurt? What can it hurt?"
What's been your biggest struggle with
My
the dating
biggest
app?
my biggest struggle is finding um is running into men who are at a place in their lives where they're ready. At
Mm.
my big age, I'm not afraid to say I'm 58 years old.
So am I. Come on, let's go for the 50 plus.
And in my opinion, I just feel like at my big age is what I always my saying, my big age,
Mm-hmm.
we should all know what we want.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
We need to know what we want and where
Supposed
we
to.
want to be.
Supposed to.
And if we're not there, we need to be getting close to it.
or be honest that you're not ready so you don't waste a person's time who is.
That part.
Which is why social media is good and bad, because they hide behind the profiles and the text messages and the emails. But to me, nothing really starts serious until we're across from each other and we break bread, because I need to see the body language with the lips moving and everything else, because lies have a certain vibration. Lies have a certain body movement. Lies have a certain eye look to them. Sassy said something earlier about using your common sense to watch the way people move. Now, we got 4 New Yorkers here and somebody who worked in New York. The one thing a New Yorker and anybody who works in New York is going to do is we're going to watch the way people move. We're going to watch
Hmm.
the way your hands move. We're going to watch the way you sit. We're going to watch why you
Hmm.
looking at me so long. And New Yorkers don't wait. Why, you got a problem? Because we ain't going to sit and wait for you to do something. And I think what social media takes away from a lot of people is that people can hide behind things. And I noticed that in a lot of my therapy sessions, the number of people who have been hurt because they applied way too much emotion too soon
Hmm.
before they actually got to know the person. And it's like, oh, he didn't turn out to be who I thought. And I got to ask the serious questions is, but what were your requirements and what did you actually get before you attached your emotion to them? Did you get enough? Did he give you a snack and you was out here trying to serve back a meal? What are we doing? It
Hmm.
didn't even out. So for
Right.
yourself, what has dating been like? I'm gonna be a little nosy. You ain't have to tell me too much, but what has dating been like when you actually get away from the app and y'all are sitting down and talking? What has that been like?
Um, Not so good because, as you can see, I'm still single.
I got you. I got you.
I run into a lot of um.
And ladies, y'all don't have to rush. It's Friday night. I'm going to be here for a little while after that.
Okay,
Don't feel that you gotta. And if you gotta go, just say goodnight. It's okay. I don't want anybody to feel that they're up against it. I'll be here for a couple of minutes. Go right ahead.
I get a lot of, the conversation starts over the phone, of course, and then sometimes text, and then they'll
Uh,
say, when do you want to meet? And I'm like, I don't typically meet anyone unless I've talked to them a few times. I got to
mhm.
vet you first. I need
Exactly.
to know what your conversation is like before
Exactly.
I want to go anywhere with you,
Exactly.
because that's going to determine whether I want to go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute, at what point do you think I'm just going to be like, okay, let's go meet such
Yeah.
such place, and
Yeah.
are texting, I haven't even had a conversation with you.
I said hello. We can't just get right to
I'm I'm really confused about that part. Like, I don't know you. Why
Yeah,
why would you think I want to go somewhere with you?
because somebody else said yes.
Hmm. Well, I'm not the one.
But that's the
And
key.
see, and
That's the
listen,
key.
I try not to get my attitude off the bat, but it's hard.
No, let it go. You don't have a reason to hold back. You don't know them. You don't have a reason to take your foot off the accelerator for a cat who's moving slow. He just get run over, going to the next one. You don't
It's
owe
like
him anything.
it's either too slow or too fast.
Of course.
Can we
Of
get
course.
to a happy medium, please?
No, that's a great point, and I deal with that a lot because and most of my clients are women, and that's something that's ongoing, especially with the fact that the bulk of my clients are 45 and older, and especially women who have returned to the dating game that are in your situation where they lost a spouse. It wasn't that the relationship turned into something negative, and the hard
Hmm.
part with returning to the dating game when you've lost someone is that you didn't come from a broken place, but you were broken by what happened. And a lot
Right.
of the men don't understand how to present themselves in a way that makes it neutral. I understand what you went through. Here's who I am. This is what I can
Hmm.
bring to the table. Is
Hmm.
that something that you think you're ready for? And you know why that's
Hmm.
a problem? Because here's the other negative with social media. Men don't know how to talk anymore because they're staring at screens.
Yeah.
And some women don't know how to talk anymore because they're staring
Yeah.
at screens. So we're not actually having conversations anymore. We're texting. And here's the sad part is people get together and can't talk, but then as soon as they leave the restaurant or the movie or whatever, they spend 9 million times texting what they should have said when
Uh-huh.
they was in your presence.
Right.
So Don't change, but find a way to be comfortable with waiting out the first wave, the second wave, the 15th wave, the 30th wave, because you only need one good yes. It's like
Mm-hmm.
searching for a job. I only need one job.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to work 17, but I'm not going to go work at Wendy's just because Wendy's said they'll hire me when I know I'm worth $200,000 in what I do. But I have to be okay emotionally that you
Yes.
don't lower down the gate just because you're frustrated with being by yourself, which again, there's lonely and being alone.
Right.
A lot of people don't understand the difference, and that you can be alone and be quite happy. But if you're lonely while being alone, now we're
Mm-hmm.
in a problem because
Mm-hmm.
wolves smell the opportunity of loneliness.
Mm-hmm.
They
Mm-hmm.
sense it because it's in your eyes at dinner. Oh my God, he looks handsome. Oh my God, I hope he's the one. Oh my God, and he's like, oh, she okay. Let's go. No,
I
no, it's
feel like
stop
I
her
feel like
around.
that's one of my I'm not sure if I'm on the right wavelength, but I feel
Okay.
like I don't give off desperate.
Okay.
And a lot of men want to be needed.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
And I don't want to give that, but on the honest tip, I really don't need, like, I really want you.
No, what
I
they want you to be thirsty.
Talk
thirsty.
so
They
fast. Come
they
on.
want you to be
Yeah,
thirsty for them.
Come on.
thirsty. And
And
I'm
I
Come
had
on.
not
to have that
thirsty.
conversation
My
Come
with
on.
somebody that I'm not thirsty. And they were like, well, why are you still out here? I said, because I haven't met nobody that can match my ebb and my flow. So
Come
when
on
he
now.
asked me what was my ebb and flow, I said, this
Mhm.
conversation is over.
That's right.
I know that's right.
The end. Period. Put a period
You
and
know,
move on.
it's super important because that's a great point, but I want you to not miss something. The boundary was set because of your lack of ability to understand what I said. So
Right.
why would I continue? And that is something I attempt to teach is if I got to explain it to you, then I don't need to be with you. And here's what happens, and this is what goes to what you're saying. You're on the right path, Sharita. The problem is a lot of these men, if they've lost a wife, a
Mhm.
lot of times the wife was handling so much that they're looking for a replacement to do the things that the wife that they lost have done. Now, to the ones that were the marriage dissolved, well, part of that is because they let the marriage dissolve because they didn't know how to put the work in. Even if she was a bad situation, they didn't know how to pull themselves out of it in enough time, or they didn't know how to address themselves in it. And if she was a
Mhm.
good one and they screwed up, they don't know how to go get help to fix whatever they did wrong. So you got a lot
Mhm.
of moving pieces. The key, and
Mhm.
I say this to every woman, know your worth, know your position, and know your boundaries. And those
Amen.
are non-negotiable to any man who wants to
That's
be close to
right.
you. And the
Right.
reason why is a real man will say, so you got this 14-foot wall and I got a 12-foot pole to climb it. I'm going to need her to lower that down about 2 feet. Okay, let's talk. So, sweetheart, I see you got this 14-foot wall that is hiding you. Why? Because I got 12 feet I could work with to get over, but you got to, what are we doing? Because I'm not whatever. And as you talk, you start to realize, wait a minute, he different. He's working with me. He's
Mhm.
talking to me. He
Mhm.
wants to work in a way that we both benefit. He's asking
Mhm.
me questions about me, and it's not about my breast and my lower regions, and it's not about we
Mhm.
going to this hotel, and it's not about where your house is. You need me to give you a ride home, or you good? Because I'm going to my house. I don't need to go to your house because then you're gonna want to come to mine. No.
Mhm.
Can we talk tomorrow? And what you start to notice with independence. Independence means that he's as serious about his peace as you are about yours.
Right.
So when you talk, he's going to actually very firmly, without being rude, say to you, for me to give up my peace, why? Why should I choose you while you're sitting there going, why should I choose you? Well, that's the conversation. Y'all have heard me say on social media, date for a year and date multiple people for a reason. You don't eat at one restaurant every day. You might have a favorite, but you
Mm-hmm.
eat at multiple restaurants because one, it gives you options, and two, you don't have to be stuck on anything. And if a man can't push his way to the front to get your attention, he doesn't need to be with you. And you want to see him in all four seasons. You don't want to date him in the wintertime and the
Right.
summertime. He's like, I hang out with the fellas. Forget you.
Mm-hmm.
No, you want to see all four seasons. You want to see the
Mm-hmm.
anniversaries, the birthdays. You want to see it all because you want to see
Mm-hmm.
what this man is about. And here's the best part: any man who's worth the grain of salt is going to chase you because he already sees your value. He can already see that her addition to what I am goes back to what Ellie said. Walking down the aisle, she knew her and her husband was going to be a force. Well, it better feel that way when you coming down the aisle because if you got down to
That's
the
right.
aisle,
That's
this
right.
may not work. So to hear Ellie say, I
Terry.
knew, that's the kind of confidence. That's why you see men cry at weddings. That's
Mm-hmm.
a woman, right? Like, oh, you know how good she look, and she coming to say I do with me.
Yeah.
I'm a little leery of men that ain't emotional at the wedding. Like, bro, what we doing? Like, you don't see how
Mm-hmm.
beautiful she looking, but if you ever notice real men at weddings, they're marveling at their
Mm-hmm.
significant other. They're
Mm-hmm.
excited to see that this is me.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you hold
They're
your position.
proud.
You have to. You got to hold your position.
Mm-hmm.
Please understand there's 9,000 frogs out there,
Yeah.
maybe 10,000. But there's a few princes out there that's hiding because they're nervous too. I don't
Yeah.
want a crazy chick. Even though men like the crazy chick, let's keep it real. My wife says it all the time. Why you men like the crazy chick? We do, but we don't. We don't want to go home with the crazy chick. Yeah, honey, you believe men like the crazy chick, right? Why?
Because you keep going for them.
They
That
want
is true.
they actually want the high hanging fruit, but they can really only reach the low hanging fruit.
Arms too short.
Mhm.
They got the they got
See,
they
your wife agrees with me.
Mhm.
listen, my wife is tough, man. Listen, if I wasn't smooth, I wouldn't have had a chance. I had to be smooth.
Mm-hmm.
My wife saw through my little foolishness when we was in college because I was 28 and she was 19. I was the man on the campus. I actually told my wife, yo, she a little bummed though, because why she dressed like that? Like, yo, you dress her up. She look
My
good, but
husband was so arrogant.
I was like, yo, why do you come to school looking like a bum? Yeah.
And what did I say?
I own a house. I said, you don't own a house. You're 19 years old. She said, no, I own a house. That's where I spend all my money. I said, you own a house? She's like, yeah. I said, wow, that's why you like a bum? So I still didn't change my position.
Uh-huh.
And we went out on a
Uh-huh.
date. I did get one date out of her. And then she said, are you married? I was like, oh, man. So I had to quickly change. I was like, wait, let me explain to you. She's like, I don't mess with married men. I was like, damn. Yeah, it didn't work. So 5 years later, when I was now finally separated back home, ran into her and she was walking up the block, coming out of a Chinese restaurant in Queens. And I was like, hey, don't act like you don't know me. And she turned around and looked, and we got to talking. And actually, we've been together since. But the funny part was, I gave her a ride around the corner. Her house was not too far from my mother's house. So I said, okay, I know the game you're going to play. I'm going to give you my number. You're going to wait 3, 4, 5 days before you call me back. Y'all women are like that here. And she was like, so tell them what you did, honey.
So he actually said, you're going to wait like women do the average of 3 days and reach out to me. And when he gave me his number, he gave me his email address. Also, I went in the house. I signed into, what was it, AOL at
Hey,
the time.
LOL, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I emailed him my number and I said, I'm not the average woman.
Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, okay. And that's how we started talking. And the funny part was she had a party coming up about a month later. We had been talking for about 3, 4 weeks. So we sitting in the car and she was like, hey, I got this party coming up. I want to go with you, but I need to tell you right now, men find me attractive, and I hope you ain't one of the jealous types because I'm not going to be up under you all night. I might go dance with some other men. I need you to understand that. I said, excuse me, women find me attractive too. I need you to understand that if I'm out here dancing with some other women, I need you to understand what this is. Don't tell me about the men digging you. And
But see, the problem is my husband thought I said it to be vain. I didn't say it to be vain.
I did.
I know how men can be controlling and thinking that you should only be under them all night and not have fun. And I like to dance, I like to have fun. So I didn't say it to be vain. I said it so that he know if you're the type that's going to be jealous because you see me dance with other men, then this is not going to work.
Exactly. And
Mhm.
that's actually, we were basically feeling each other out by saying that, because yes, you can call me arrogant, you call me whatever. The one thing I've always been able to do is communicate
Mhm.
and talk. That's why I stayed in so much trouble, and that's why I was always getting into something, because I could work my way into whatever and work my way out of it. But if a man wants you, if a man really enjoys you, he wants all the information possible. He's going to communicate with you. He's going to find a way to push his way to the front and get your attention. That's what I tell women to look for. Look for the man who's doing the work. Forget who's talking. Because some brothers are super smooth at talking and do nothing.
Mhm.
Talk you out your
Mhm.
drawers if you let them, and then steal the
Mhm.
drawers and give them to somebody else. So, and don't be like, ew, it happens. I worked at a motel. It happens. Yeah. So, but the key is, because if you found a man before, then we go back to muscle memory, we go back to when you do things. If you found a man before who found you attractive, who was that person, and Sharitha, in your case, God made a decision. But there's other men out there. But the men of substance, they know the pool is dirty too.
Mhm.
So they got to find a way to maneuver in the pool that doesn't draw a lot of attention to themselves. So they
Mhm.
have to play it very coy like. So a lot of times they have to go through female friends. They got to go through like coworkers, or she got somebody. And the reason why is because you've seen it, ladies. The minute that a quality man says, I'm out here, Lord, they jumping off the roofs, they flying through
Yes.
windows. It's like
Mhm.
locusts have landed, like, yo, you a good man. And then you got the ones who show up butt naked talking about, you a good man. Oh, Lord. So how
Mhm.
does he compete with all of that? And then he has to say, but I'm still a man. I like his stuff. All you have to be is you. Now I can tell you that coming from a man
Right.
that was out there, the women that I learned to care about were the women that had backbone, the women who put
Mhm.
me in my place, the women who would not allow me to be spoiled and
Mhm.
want what I want and then give me what I want. They made me work. It became intriguing. They made me chase. And then a part of me would go, why am I chasing you? I can get whoever I want. And the women would say, well, go get them because they're not me. And I'm like, "Ugh." So now I got to figure out something. Now I got to do something different. Now I got to become something different. But actually, not only am I changing, men aren't stupid, not the real ones. They start to realize if she making a smooth dude like me work this hard, the average cat don't have a chance
Mhm.
because he won't climb the ladder. He'll actually
Mhm.
yell at you for making the ladder so high. A real man will climb the ladder and say, okay, now come on now. I done traveled 3/4 up this ladder. You got to at least come meet me somewhere so we can talk.
Nope. Get a rope.
Mhm.
Tell him, Ellie,
Get a
come
rope.
back with some more
Rappel
accessories.
up. Yeah, shimmy your way to the top, my brother.
Brother, brothers out there repelling like, yo, this some beer.
But he did it though.
I love that. Get a rope. You know what? And a real dude will do it. Now, here's the key though, ladies. If you get the rope and he climb up there, now come on now, don't be acting funky now. He did all this work. You got to at least meet me and we got to talk about something. That's the other part too. Be prepared for the very thing that you say you want. Be
Right.
Mhm.
prepared. Be prepared and then be honest. See, I find truth, as brutal as it is actually the great moniker. Like, why are you single? Because I ain't met no men that can tame me. So you think you are? I know I'm all that.
Mhm.
Are you all that enough to tame me? The best line I've ever heard, Jill Scott. If you can tell me what to do, you
You
can
can
tell me
Tell
what
tell
me
to
me
do.
what
what
to
to do.
do.
But if you
I
can't
love
tell
that
me what to
line.
do, you
You
can't
can't
tell me
tell
what
me
to
what to
do.
do.
I understood it as soon as she
Oh,
said it. And my
yes.
wife is sitting right here. She know if
Mm-hmm.
aliens kidnap her, I'm going to Philly and I'm finding Jilly. My wife already knows. If aliens come
Oh,
by and
no.
somehow, oh my gosh, my wife got kidnapped by aliens. I will mourn for about 6 days.
Oh, no.
And then I'm heading to Philly. Jill, I'm telling you what to do. Get in the car. I've been planning this for a minute. Let's go, Jill. And y'all gonna see me on some, I don't care what it is, drink champs, whatever. So Phil, tell Jilly, who's the new dude? Don't worry about that, bro. Talk to her.
Uh-huh.
We have that agreement in our marriage. Hers is 50 Cent, but I don't know if she's still one of them now. I'm not sure. So, ladies, listen, it's after 10. I want to say thank you to all of you. I hope that you got your free gift when I sent you the initial email, which is just a
Oh,
simple
I haven't
download of one of my
downloaded.
books that I hope that you had a chance. I'm working on a couple other projects. I'm going to send out an email after this just as a follow up and everything. So I hope that you had a good time tonight. We're going to try to do this again. I'm not sure when. I'll just see what you guys say from the feedback when I send out the emails. Now, when I do this in the future, you ladies do not have to pay because there's going to be a fee when folks want to come and hang out with us. Because y'all took the chance to come on and hang out with me, whatever I put into motion, there'll be no charge for you guys. And
Oh, thank
Thank you.
you.
if I start a community where there's a fee, you don't have to pay. So the 10 that signed up tonight didn't know that, but whatever I start a community or whatever I'm going to do going forward, you guys get to come in on the ground floor and pay nothing. And the reason
I
why is because
appreciate
I'm
it.
still not sure what type of community that I want, but I
Mm-hmm.
want something where the algorithms are not telling me what I can talk about, what I can't talk about. And I wanted to get a feel just for what y'all wanted or what you wanted to talk about. So it didn't bother me that you didn't have questions because, like I said, I had a bunch if things had dragged. I was prepared for all of that. But I simply want to say thank you. A lot of times when I'm on social media, I write what I write, I do what I do, but this is how I am on a regular basis. I laugh and joke and I play all the time, and I do this as a therapist, but I'm very serious about what I do because I want to see restoration of people who have been hurt or people who's in relationships who can't solve things. But I try to do this because somebody has to step in this gap and we got to fix a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the things that's wrong by being able to communicate with each other. And everything doesn't have to be vertical in the bed and all this other stuff, which a lot is foolishness I see.
Mm-hmm.
And social media is geared to the ignorant. Not that I'm disrespecting everybody, but it's allowed because drama creates views. Views
Right.
drive the machine and they throw pennies at the machine. So people
Yeah.
spend all night, all day picking the pennies up while somebody's behind them picking up their wallets and running their credit cards and sticking it back into their pockets. You ladies coming tonight again showed me that you're interested in something different. I'm going to figure out how to keep this going or to make this something for you. Go ahead, Sharita, talk to me.
I just wanted to say that when I came in here,
Uh-huh.
my initial reason for coming in
Uh-huh.
is in hopes to help someone who has been through or going through what I have gone through and to help them. So um I'm just saying to you that you have my permission to use me as an example if you need to, whenever
Okay.
I'm in your lives,
Thank
and
you. I
to,
appreciate it.
pick my brain and ask me questions because I'm
Aretha, you have
open.
a business that you didn't mention. Go ahead.
My wreath business,
It's a business. Come on. Come on. You have a
yes, I
business.
make reeds. I make door reads. And
Okay.
it really started off as just therapy for me.
Okay.
It was therapy
I'm going to
because,
send out an email so you'll
mhm,
have a chance to network with each other. But go
okay.
ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you
Yes. Yeah, it was therapy for me. I was making them because it made me happy. It was a happy space for me. And I did it. And then people started requesting, oh, can you make me one? And I was like, oh, yeah, just buy the material. I'll make you one. And then it just blew up. Like after so many, I was like, oh, I need to charge y'all for this because this is some work.
off. I got something for you. Do you have
Mhm.
Dollar General? You're where in the country?
I'm Texas.
in Texas, they have Dollar General or any dollar
Yes.
store there. How
Yes.
many of them do you work with?
How many do I work with?
Yeah, you
None.
work with. You need to speak to every general manager and find out if they're independently owned.
Oh,
Label your reefs and actually ask them, can you sell them in a dollar store and whatever price you need to make it, and find all the other independent businesses like Dollar Tree or anything else that sells a plethora of different things to see
okay.
where you can get your stuff into their shelves and get the money directly. Because if you have an actual business, then what you do is you show up with your business license, you show up with all your information,
Mm-hmm.
and see if you can create a situation where you can say, well, can we just put it up here where I can get paid for it instead of y'all paying me up front? I know how many
Mm-hmm.
reaves I've given you. I'll come and get the money at the end of the month. And if you do it on a net 30 situation where every 30 days you come in to check and see how many were sold, and then they send the money to you 30 days later, you allows you to possibly set a connection with local places. So then when you're talking about your reeves, you can get them from me or whatever stores that you deal with. So look at all the
Mm-hmm.
stores that sell Christmas stuff, all the
Yes.
stores that sell Reeves and anything else where they sell a conglomerate of different things. Go in and look to speak to the owner, not the manager, because the manager doesn't have the say so to
Okay.
actually set up. What you do is create a presentation where you can go and
That's a
speak to
good
the owner
idea.
and say, I am a local person who produces local items, and I would like to have my items featured at your store because then I can promote your store and you can sell my Reeves. And if nothing else, it gives you an opportunity to make more sales than you might have been making just trying to promote for yourself. And it
Right.
gives you another place for your stuff to be. And then you go from there. And then just make sure that there's a place on your packaging that you can put your information. So
Mm-hmm.
folks maybe
Mm-hmm.
are just walking around looking at it, they can see
Right.
whether it's a QR code or something else like that. So
Yes.
remember, closed mouth doesn't get fed, and you have it. And if people want it, then it makes it easier because then somebody might reach out to you and say, well, I saw the one at Dollar Tree, but do you do others? That's where your website and other things come in. And now you've given people reason to reach out to you. And Texas is a
That's a good
gigantic
idea.
state. So what I tell folks is
Yes.
always start in your state. You ain't got to go anywhere else. Become the
Mm-hmm.
person in your state and let your state feed you. Then look to do other states. And now when you're on social media, you simply say, if anybody's in Texas, go to these stores. They'll know what they are. You can get them that
Mm-hmm.
way. Or if you want something directly or fashionably made, we can set it up because all you got to do is buy the materials and I can do it. That's another way for you to be
Yes.
able to do it for yourself. So as a person
That's
who's
a good
been out
idea.
for a while, appreciate it.
I never thought about that. Going to, the local Dollar Tree, Dollar General, Family Dollar.
Always
Never done.
remember, go to where the people are who want whatever you sell. I
Mm-hmm.
joke with Sassy all the time. Where are you at in the world? I say that so if somebody else sees what I post, they go, "What do you mean? Where's she at in the world?" What are they going to do? Start looking at her pictures, and then that
Mm-hmm.
might capture them. Or so you do this. Well, she then promotes herself. This is Sassy Gallery. I've looked enough, so I know exactly what you're going to say. But the key is, I'm showing you this. So she's doing exactly what you're supposed to do in businesses. I'm showing you what I do by experiencing it for you. Now, if you
Mm-hmm.
want this, let me show you how I can do this for you. But
Mm-hmm.
the key is offer, remember, more eyes, more buys. So the more people see you, the more they become comfortable with you, the more they trust you, the more they do
That's,
business. I actually have clients now. I
mm-hmm.
have a couple from TikTok who have a couple people who have signed on to work with me from TikTok. So I have clients. So it turned into something for me, even though I work at a practice, a private practice, and I have a full schedule. But I still keep a couple of spots open for people who need to see me privately. And my prices are what they are. I know some people see it and be like, oh, damn, yeah, yeah. You see those degrees on the wall, they're not gonna pay for themselves. So, but yeah, you're
Mm-hmm.
getting my experience, but also you're getting someone who's going to work with you directly. You're a professional. So as a professional, you want to sell what you do professionally, but you want to speak to the owner. But remember, and goes back to what I said to Sassy, you weren't here. Read the book, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. Think win-win is one of the steps. If I go to the owner and I can explain how the owner is going to make money, how I'm going to make money, it's a win-win. And one of the other steps is synergy. So synergy is I'm going to let the community know your store is here. You're going to put my reeds in your store so I can make money, but then you're going to make money because who goes into a store only to buy reeds? Who goes into any dollar store and only buys one thing? So you always go and buy more. So when I can create that synergy, now you have a connection, and all you need is one yes. Because then when you go to another Dollar General, oh no, I'm at the Dollar General in this part of Texas, and I'm in this Dollar General over here. So that's why I'm coming to you to do business with you. Your leverage becomes your connections, but
Mm-hmm.
first you have to make the connections to be able to create the leverage.
Right.
So that's the key in how you do it.
Okay.
Go ahead, Sassy.
What was the book you said by Max Lucado?
Cure for the Common Life. I will show you. Cure for the Common Life, but look for the ones that got the two golden retrievers laying on the couch. I think it came out into, let me unblur my office. I'm just making sure my office is clean. But yeah, Cure for the Common Life. Look for the two dogs sitting on the couch here. I think it's circa 2000, I want to say 2007, whatever. But I've used this book quite often, especially for believers, because it actually shows you how to work within your sweet spot. And it is super important because it actually talks about if you want to figure out your godly gifts, I'll give y'all this tonight. Live your life backwards. And what I mean by that is you have to think about what you could do easy that no one ever told you how to do. Meaning, live your life backwards. Think as you go back to as young as you can remember. What is something that you did that just came easy? Don't worry about what it is. Just think about it. And here's why. Like me, I've been talking my whole life. I've been smooth my whole life, but the problem was I was doing it for me.
Mm.
21 years ago, I decided to do it for God, but I was always smooth. I was always a chatterbox. The problem is I didn't have guidance and I didn't have enough intellectual space, so everything was carnal. But my gift never changed. Here's what you need to understand. Your mindset is what changes, not your nature. Whatever nature God gave you, whether it's soft spoken, aggressive, whatever your nature is, that's not going to change. What's going to change is your mindset. And mindset changes by what I feed it. I preach mindfulness and CBT, cognitive behavior theory. That's what I use in my therapy sessions. Cognitive behavior theory is simply the way I think changes the way I act. Mindfulness is staying in the moment. What are like right now, we're on a Zoom call. Right now, y'all are listening to me talk. Right now, whatever you're thinking is connected to whatever we're doing here. But now, if you're sitting there thinking, going, I got to make mac and cheese tomorrow. I got to run to this. See, now you're drifting. So anything that might be being shared, you can't use because you allowed yourself to get sidetracked.
Mm.
But mindfulness is if you stay in the moment and absorb everything that you can, you've given yourself the best opportunity to do something. So when God says, don't worry about tomorrow, for there's a lot to do today, why is God saying that? Because tomorrow's not promised. So we see scripture, but we don't know how to apply scripture because churches miss the mark. Hence, that's why I work with churches to create mental health ministries, because we shouldn't have more books on church hurt than
Right.
we do on how to be a good Christian.
Mhm.
Right.
And that's a whole nother thing for another day, but that's something that I go
So
and teach
true.
on. Because why do we have so many books on church hurt? Because the church itself doesn't know how to reach its own people. Proven point is COVID. How did churches miss the mark that Zoom and Instacart made billions? And the
Mm.
churches didn't. The churches were supposed to go to their elderly and say, give us your credit card. We'll go shopping for you. Because whatever this is, it's not hurting the young folks. Stay here, ma'am, because you're 60 or 70 or 80 or 90. Someone from the church will shop for you. Make your list. Give us your credit card. Here's your receipt. Thank you. We didn't do that. Zoom. Churches weren't prepared to get on Zoom. Zoom made $1 billion because it became what everybody was using. So why weren't the churches prepared for that? Because they never were prepared for their first famine. So everything that y'all talked about tonight, whatever it was, whether it's focus, whether it's confidence, whatever it is that y'all just said you need to do it. But commit to finishing, like I told Tasha earlier. Commit to finishing. The finish changes your life. Because now when you talk to me, hey Keith, you know what? I did that. I got like 1,000 no's. Okay. What did they say in the no's? Well, they said my stuff wasn't professionally structured. Okay. That's intel. So what do? Change the structure. Make it professional, or go back to those same people who told you no. Thank you for telling me no. Can I ask you a question? When you said professionally packaged, what did you mean? Well, in our store, we need hypoallergenic, whatever, and yours is not that. I can't sell that here. Thank you. Now I'm home. What is hypoallergenic looking? What would that look like? What it will cost me? Now I come back. Hey, my stuff is now hypoallergenic. Can we put something together? Because you know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to charge more money. And why am I going to charge more money? Because I now had to make my stuff
And more
hypoallergenic.
money. Mm-hmm.
So the key is by doing something, by finishing, you automatically get enough information back to now change your life in whatever direction you're doing. Same thing with dating. By going on the dates, you get to hear and listen that this dude is even a possibility. Well, like Sassy said, no, bro, you can't even answer my questions. Check, please. Thank you. I'm out. You gonna leave? Oh no, I've already left. What? Take care. Whatever it is. Because by going on the date, that's the finish. You went. Hey, look, bro, I gave you dinner. We hung out. I'm even gonna take the bill because I ain't never gonna see you again. Yeah. You got a free
Money
meal.
well spent.
That's it. Money well spent. All I did was pay for you to never talk to me again. So you can't even say I robbed you. You got a free meal. Go and eat that hamburger. I ain't bothering with you. That's why when I hear chicks go, I ain't going to know what is it? What's the restaurant they say they're not going to?
Applebee's.
Applebee's, and what's the other one? I hear
Cheesecake
Cheesecake
Off the
Factory.
Factory.
date.
When they go, I ain't going to Cheesecake Factory. I go, you stupid? Hell yeah, you go to Cheesecake Factory because the date is whack. Check, please. $40. Get out of here. Spent $40 to dodge a bullet. Man, I'm going to Applebee's. Because if I'm at Steak 48 or if I'm at Roof Chris or I'm at some place that's charging a lot, now y'all looking at each other like, who getting that bill? We going to do something. Man, at Applebee's, I'm like, bruh, you can go. Bruh, let me get them points. I'll be back here with my kids. Are you crazy? Hell yeah, you want to go at the cheaper place. One, easy on his pockets, and if he's horrible, I got credit. Man, yes, go ahead. You sure you want another drink? Because I ain't never gonna see you again. Go ahead, drink up. But no one thinks like that. Because again, thinking progressively over regressively, meaning be proactive instead of reactionary. Know what you're doing, know why you're doing it, know what you're after, because you know what'll happen? A person of intelligence will see it. Person of intelligence will see it. A man that is digging you will see it. Because he'll actually say, oh, so I see what you're doing. Like, so do you do that on a regular? Yes. Oh, okay. Because I do this with my business over here. Now there's your synergy.
I'm almost finished.
There's your synergy. There is where he now brings something to the table that betters you and you better him because now y'all are talking something that ain't got nothing to do with the relationship. You're talking business too.
Right.
That's why the book is so incredible because Stephen Covey has sold like 25 million copies of the book. So obviously somebody buying it for a reason. But this book right here with Pastor Max Lucado, the reason why it works out is because he walks you through it. And I need you to do that tonight. I want you to literally sit back and say, what are things that I did when I was younger that people just marveled at? And I don't care if it's frying chicken. I don't care if it's the way that you dress. I don't care if it's doing, I don't care what it is. When you read the book, you're going to see that some people decided that this ain't working. I want to do something different. And they went on excursions where people like, you walked away from your job because they knew in their heart it wasn't for them. What is that? The 5 a.m. club. What's my man Shawarma? What's his first name? The dude Shawarma, I think, whatever his name is. I can't think of his name. He went to law school and then decided, nah, I don't want to do this. I want to be a coach, a personal life coach. His family thought he was crazy because he knew this wasn't for him. He walked away from it. And not only did it turn out that he met all these people in the world, it was because he knew what he was built for. Once you know, once your God gifts are activated, it'll be hard to stop the blessing, especially when you're serving others.
Yeah.
Just got to let people know it.
Yeah.
All right. So again, ladies, I want to say thank you to all of you. I'll send out an email sometime this week for some feedback on what you thought. Please be honest. Don't worry, I'm a big dude. I can take it. I don't worry about criticism. I appreciate it. And I'm going to figure out what we're going to do. I'm still working on the community. I'm not sure because now with all this negativity behind Discords, when you bring up the name, people start to look at you sideways like, I don't know if I want to be on the Discord. Listen, it's I can't stand
Messy.
yeah, but I'm looking at different communities, and the reason why is my biggest thing with the community is the reason why I'm charging a fee. People are less likely to come in and act stupid when they got to put money on the line, and when they got to put money on the line, they know I now have direct access to them. So you're less likely to come in acting a fool when you got to pay for something. And like I said, because all of you came in and trusted me, I'm going to reward you with that whenever we start it. And if we do another Q&A, which I'm hoping to do, I'm not sure when, yeah, there'll be a fee for it, but you guys don't have to pay for it. And the reason why is you take care of those who trusted you. My wife showed me that this past week. The woman who run this, they awarded my wife a prize by saying, you were the first person who signed up for the pageant. And the woman was so elated because she wasn't sure if she was even going to do the pageants. So she awarded my wife a prize the first night, Thursday night. We got there Wednesday, and she said because you were the first who understood the vision and was like okay. And then it worked out because when she told her please come, she knew my wife was already going to win, but she couldn't say nothing to be professional and to be neutral. But she knew if I could just get her here, and because they've worked before, my wife is a judge, but she knew that this was going to be something important to her, but also to her as the director of the pageant. That's the synergy I'm talking about. When somebody starts to look out for you because they know what you bring to the table, but it also brings something to the table for them. So I hope that I've given you that tonight. And again, I just want to say thank you because it has been a pleasure. So I will talk to you soon. I got to get ready for this book event tomorrow morning, and then we're going to go get some seafood tomorrow afternoon. Yes, I'm flexing, so I'm going to go get some seafood. So there's a food truck I want to try. If it's trash, y'all will hear about like don't eat there. So, but if you have any questions or there's anything that of interest or you have anything that you all of a sudden remembered, just reach out. You have my email, so you know how to get to me directly. Most of y'all already know, and some of y'all already have my direct number, so you can always reach out to me. But again, let folks know when they see the opportunity to jump on, tell them to come in. It's a safe space, and it will always be a safe space. All right? So
Thank you
take
so
care.
much.
Sassy, be
Thank
careful wherever
you.
you're going in the world, so please be careful. And Sharitha, I know you out there in Texas. Lord, be careful.
Yes, I know.
So certain states, I'm like, woo.
Hmm.
So, and all y'all better vote. I find out you're not voting, man. We ain't talking.
Oh,
We got to change something right.
look, that's
I know
big
So,
over
that's
so
here.
right.
Sassy,
Voting is
mail
big
your
over
vote
here.
in. Yeah, Sassy, mail your vote.
Yeah, that's
Hmm.
the first thing I'm
we,
gonna do when I
we gotta
get
get
back.
this. We gotta do something because right now it's crazy out
It
here.
is. It is.
Hmm.
Have a good night, guys. It was
All
a
right.
pleasure.
Good
Good
night.
Good
Good night,
night.
everyone.
Have a good night.
night.
Take care.